Come on. Oi. Oi, oi. Excellent. Keep it still going.
Gap in the mind of the Labour Party that you can push the left as far as you want because they've got nowhere else to go. And I think that happens actually, like literally, with some Labour councillors, not just like members or voters, but with actual elected representatives of the Labour Party. And the story of those election results is in Lewisham, in Southwark, you know, in places where the leader of the council now is literally an ex-Labour councillor. That is a kind of historic break with the way that we have understood how the institution of the Labour Party functions and the calculations it makes when it makes political decisions about who is too left-wing, you know, to be allowed to be a representative. And I think, you know, I think that
he owns all of the bread. What?
Something we really, if we are to change the existential threat to the Labour Party, we have to face up to some of those realities and some of and you know.
Count Bidface is running in Wakefield.
Is he?
Is there an election in Wakefield?
Council maybe?
Do you mean Makerfield, or is there a separate election in
Sometimes
Wakefield?
maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Currently unaware of. Thank you, Katie Marshall. By the way, everyone go and follow Katie Marshall /MadCatScottyEye on all of the platforms. She's fucking awesome.
Oh.
Kev, do you support Count Bidface for Makerfield? I absolutely do, yes. 100%.
Thanks, Jim.
In some ways, have some kind of recompense for the treatment that some people on the left have faced within the Labour Party.
It must be quite interesting. Labour councillors who would jump ship to the Greens, especially then to go on to win. Are you basically just saying to them, look, you need to stay and fight, and they're like, we've given up? I mean, what are these conversations like?
So, I mean, I think.
Oh, motherfucker's overheating, that's why it's not working that great. Right. Shall we? So this is the antidote. I thought I'd put the other one there. So, here we go. Over to Nevada. Yeah.
When BBC Question Time was announced on X this week, it got a lot of hate. It was a
Twitter.
AI special,
Twitter,
and the lineup included Labour's Darren Jones, a Tory shadow minister, Mo Gaudat, who's an ex-Google employee, Laura Gilbert from the Tony Blair Institute, and the CEO of an AI.
There we go. I'll give people time to come in. I got my milestone. Haha. 21 months. Holy fuck. Everyone go and follow Kev Logan. He is awesome. At Ploppy111 on the YouTubes. Or at KF Logan 1875 on the Twitch. Let us bring up my dashboard. James! Spam away. Fucking hell, it's slow. I will see them momentarily. I'm just getting this up. Cool. Thank you, James Holmes. Have a good sleep, and I'll catch you later. Oh, for anyone in Twitch, there's an ad starting soon. Okay, let's bring up my YouTube so I can see all those lovely emotes from James. There we go. Bring it. Yep, before I get reverb. There we go. Oh, it's still just saying. Oh, right, fine. Right. Jacqueline! Rejoice, comrades. Jacqueline in the chat. Good evening, my dear. Question time's AI special was good, actually. No, Michael. No, it wasn't. How you doing, Jacqueline?
When BBC Question Time was announced on X this week, it got a lot of hate. It was a AI special. The lineup included Labour's Darren Jones, a Tory shadow minister, Mo Gaudat, who's an ex-Google employee, Laura Gilbert from the Tony Blair Institute, and the CEO of an AI company. And the AI company, sort of AI video explainers. In particular, it was the inclusion of the Tony Blair Institute that got a lot of people riled up. Leader of the Greens, Zach Polanski, said this: Oracle's £250 million gift to the Tony Blair Institute appears to buy you an entire Question Time episode. Oracle, owned by Larry Ellison, he gave money to the Tony Blair Institute. Zach saying now they're getting all this publicity. Carol Cadwallader had a similar point. So she said, so you know what BBC Question Time did with Farage? They're now doing it with AI. This so-called expert panel on AI is a disgrace, not one critical voice. Gilbert works for Tony Blair to promote AI. Jones is government chief AI booster and Blair flunky. Ripabelli is industry.
I'm kind of sticky. We've had two thunderstorms here in Glasgow, and it still hasn't cleared the air, so it's kind of, you could slice it with a knife. And I've been using, this with a water part to it as well. I hate them desperately, but we need a big fuck off thunderstorm just to clear all the mug. give a refresh to the atmosphere, essentially. So I'm not feeling sticky all the time. No. I'm glad I've got that with the water spray part of it as well. It's kind of good.
Gaudat is ex-industry.
Oh, so this is Carol Cadwallader. She is awesome. I read stories by her, okay? I haven't actually read her in a while. She's awesome. So you know what Question Time did with Farage? They're now doing it with AI. This expert panel on AI is a disgrace, not one critical voice. Big Jerry! Good evening, Jerry. Hope you're doing well. I'm Sticky. And I'm going to respond to Michael. It will be fun. We'll be going to The Antidote next by the National, the independent, the pro-indie paper up here. I am a subscriber to it. It is an awesome paper. This expert panel on AI is a disgrace, not one critical voice. Gilbert works for Tony Blair to promote AI. Jones is government chief AI booster and Blair flunky. Ripper Belly is industry. Mo Gaudat is ex-industry, used to work for Google. And for balance, a Tory MP. It's a fucking disgrace.
And for balance, a Tory MP. Now, I think some of the anger was because people had missed that Mo Gaudat, despite having worked for Google, is actually very critical of the business model of AI companies and spends a lot of time warning about technology itself, existential risk, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, he also seems pretty left-wing. So on his YouTube, his most recent interviews are with Jeffrey Sachs and Grace Blakely. Anyway, as Aaron Bastoni likes to say, I don't mind being a contrarian. In fact, sometimes I quite like it. And when I watched the Question Time special, despite all the anger on X, I thought it was pretty good. Right? They debated loads of angles about the technology, job losses, existential risk. They talked about sort of technological sovereignty, about how we need to develop more of this stuff in the UK.
God, I hate global warming. I'm no built for this. Yeah, do you want to swap? You can come up here and I can go in there. Like we're close. Like most places in Scotland, especially the ones on the obviously the ones on the we're quite close to the coast, so the amount of moisture we've got in the air here anyway, and the heat in it has just made everything kind of oppressive. It's pop up, go away. Yeah, it's. I've got my camera fixed. It's down here now, right in front of me. It's sitting on top of my disk drive. I can plug it in. I can take out either the mic or the camera, so I can watch DVDs. Oh, monitor. Everything looks fucking awesome. That panel just raw.
It was the conversation about AI and therapy that I thought was the most interesting. This audience intervention sparked off that debate.
I don't know the long and the big grammar you were saying, but for me, my lived experience, AI has really been helpful in helping me to heal faster and quicker from depression and anxiety. With your traditional therapists, they are kind of blank and bland. They don't. You're in depression and you don't have the mental space to articulate anything, but they want you to find those insights yourself. That's not ChatGPT. ChatGPT understands me. It gives me, instant, viable answers to what I'm asking.
Oh. To get therapy, you actually how do I describe this? It's just regurgitating things out. It's basically scraped everything off the internet and it's giving you what you want to hear. You have to break what's actually made you depressed. You need human empathy to do that. You need another human being to help you through it, to identify what the problems are. You don't ask ChatGPT. Talia! Rejoice comrades. Talia button in the chat. Good evening. Hope you're doing well.
And because I've been in a relationship, not sexually, but it understands my emotions and it's able to articulate and help me find those answers and solutions. Unlike your regular therapists, because of ethics and professionalism, there is really not much they can tell you, so you're not quoting them. But with ChatGPT, it's leaving all those boxes, the tick, are you, for the last 2 weeks, how have been feeling? Doesn't do all that. It goes straight to the point. So for me, AI
has really been helpful.
Yeah, very.
You want to come
I mean, there are definitely huge advantages and benefits, and some of it is quite equalising because therapy costs money. We have mental health backlogs that are very difficult to solve because they're very expensive.
The accessibility, I could be in bed, wandering in my thoughts. I wake up, open my laptop, I'm chatting with
Absolutely.
Where would I get a therapist at that time of the night? The long queue and all that, which is not helping my mental well-being.
But I thought that was so interesting. And lots of people were complaining that the panel would be AI boostery, but actually sort of the two most positive comments came from the audience. So there was that lady you just heard there, and then there was another gentleman who sort of said he'd sort of struggled to sort of get gainful employment and struggled his whole life. And then sort of through chatting to one of, I don't know if it was Claude or ChatGPT or whatever, he kind of self-diagnosed as ADHD, then got an official ADHD diagnosis, and now is doing like a master's degree in AI because he can finally concentrate.
Did I get a read?
So there were a number of people sort of in the audience who are saying they've had a good experience.
Kev read. Kev read. Oh, I'm struggling with James Scott. Thank you. Welcome in, James. Thank you. Thank you for the raid. Hello, everyone. I am Katie Marshall 4340 on the YouTube, or MadCat79 Scotty Eye on the Twitch. I'm a Scottish disabled Marxist streamer. I try to talk about health and disability and benefits, and also politics and some history. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid, Kev. Oi oi, Brommy comrade. I don't need to say to you to follow Kev because you just came from there. Follow No Justice as well. She is awesome. She was doing Nevada tonight. That must have been last minute. Rejoice comrades. John the Brazen. Good evening, John. Yeah.
Obviously, there are people who also had a bad experience. When it comes to AI and therapy, I think, to be honest, it seems like most people I know give their sort of interpersonal problems. Sometimes they get a second opinion from AI. It seems just like super normal now. I do know one person who, got into a bit of a psychosis with it. I know other people who found it very helpful. But clearly this is like that woman in the audience, her experience is now very common.
Hello.
Let's take a look at what I think probably the most interesting person on the panel said. Mo Gaudat, he's the ex-Google exec. He had an interesting answer.
Two topics, one therapy and one loneliness. On therapy, I'll have to say, regardless of it's AI or it's a human therapist, the
first spelling, my dear. That's the American spelling, the second one. But yeah, AI does need mean more data centres. Hello, Lobster. Welcome in. Yeah. I'm surprised they have there's one here, but it's not, to keep it cool, to keep the data centres cool, they need to use a fuck ton of water, so they use it to cool it down, which basically pollutes it. Our water's nationalised, you need to ask the government for permission, and with any fucking luck, the SNP would tell them where to go. The amount of cooling they need is ridiculous. I don't want data. Don't get me wrong, there's already data centres that exist here in the UK. But to actually get what they want to do, especially the Tony Blair Institute, we need water way more than we need data centres, yeah. Yeah. The environmental impact of data centres is huge. For more on that, check out what's happening in America. I don't know who to send you to for that one. Becky? Would Becky have covered it a bit? Becky's sphere might have done it.
Number one, impactful reason for a successful therapy session is compatibility between the two. And you may have found a place where you're able to communicate reasonably well with ChatGPT without it telling you, oh my God, you're amazing. I love everything that you do, which is very typical ChatGPT, right? But others might be very vulnerable in those places where, we have seen cases where ChatGPT specifically encouraged people to take their own life, right? Now, on the other hand, when it comes to loneliness, I think the real big sigh here is that two wrongs don't make a right. Right. What we've done over the internet revolution and the early, implementations of AI is, unfortunately, we have taught AI to manipulate us into outsourcing our human connection through a tiny little screen. And now we're saying, now that we sort of messed up on our ability to connect to humans because we're so stuck to that screen, instead of fixing it by saying, go out and meet real humans and find real human connection, we want to stick you more in the screen, not even to a human, but to a simulation of a human. Very dangerous.
I think that was just very smart, very well put. It sort of goes, I think we've done a segment on it before, actually, Mark Zuckerberg sort of talking about how AI is going to be so brilliant at solving the loneliness crisis. And in that segment, we obviously talk.
I still go out and make friends. We need to explain more of this to you.
About how Mark Zuckerberg was instrumental in creating the loneliness crisis by making everyone addicted to their screens instead of meeting people in real life. The evidence about this is overwhelming. Just the last couple of weeks, actually, there's been lots of discourse about whether it's smartphones that are the reason why people are less inclined to start families, because they're meeting people less. They're pairing up less because they're just constantly looking at their screen. So I 100% agree with that the idea, we'll get something on the screen to save us from the loneliness induced by the screen is, there's something a bit dystopian about it. Also, obviously, it goes without saying, if you are considering getting therapy from a chatbot, be very alert to the fact that they are sycophantic, that it's not going to challenge you, that it doesn't have any professional experience. Like, it probably is much better to get a real therapist. Although I can see even in the comments, there are lots of people saying, I don't really like speaking to a therapist, and I don't mind speaking to the chatbot, which, again, I don't think is entirely unreasonable. There was someone in the audience who I think had a very sort of balanced take on this. And actually, she got one of the biggest round of applause on the program.
I work in the area of cancer coaching, and we actually been trialling, I was involved in trial of a beta phase of a sort of an AI version of cancer coaching. And it's
And
interesting.
when you say cancer coaching, what do you mean?
So people who have been diagnosed with cancer and who, for example, especially in the workplace, so we support them through the cancer journey in the workplace primarily. And some organisations are thinking, well, we can outsource that to a AI version of cancer coaching rather than using a human being who has lived experience of cancer who can help them and support them. And it's seeing it's more productive. But when we've seen in the beta version of this, I mean, it's basically a chatbot. So I don't think it's either an or. I think having something that could be developed in the middle of the night when a question comes up to help the initial, but it has to be co-developed. So I think AI
to have
can,
both things.
Yeah, I think AI can augment the experience, but you still need a human being who understands the lived experience and actually can support the human being. It cannot replace that.
So Julia, are we solving loneliness or normalising isolation?
I thought that really sort of nicely brought the point together in a way, because she was saying, yes, the AI chatbot for the particular job she does.
Jacqueline, you're awesome. Boom. Ah.
Which is cancer coaching. I hadn't heard of that job before that either, but it sounds like a very important thing to do. It could be useful for people to have also a chatbot to discuss this with, but if they're just getting it from a chatbot, they're going to lose the most important, powerful part of the program, which is the human relationship with someone who has experienced cancer.
Please subscribe to my YouTube. I get I get some of the bells and whistles when I get to 1,000 subscribers. Also okay with DeWitt. Hello. We have someone from a couple of Burke's channel. Hello, Mr. DeWitt. I am Katie Marshall 4340 on the YouTube. Welcome. Welcome. The prompts are the key with added custom instructions and its personalized. Yeah. It will only spit back what you give it. You have to give it the prompt, and we're humans. We are fallible. We make mistakes, especially with language. You know. Correct, John. Yeah. Right, I may be able to talk to all of you through the web. I class that as the human connection, like I was in a VC before starting my stream, and I talked to actual people. One of whom's in the chat, and another one as well. So Hanya Candlelit and Lobster. Awesome people, awesome comrades. I salute you. It's parasocial. I could meet up with people that I know on the web. I could. Like there's a couple. What the? Hang on. Is that my channel? Ah! Sweet. Thank you for the shout out, Brummy Comrade, and thank you for the read. Oh,
as well. So you form a human bond with someone who's had a similar experience, who will also have had some professional training. So they're much more responsible than just something that just pumps out.
On helping patients, my younger sister, is a community nurse. She does keep care in the community and also palliative. So basically helping people with terminal illness. And she can help the patient coordinate to actually get people to come in and speak to them, or to like phone calls or Zoom or Skype or something. And I think it's good that they've acknowledged in the Problems Society was having 15 years ago, especially with the needs discount. Yeah. Well, they want to be able to well, I want people to more than survive. I want us to all thrive, essentially, as leftists do. I don't want everything on fire, because it sucks. Our current crop of politicians, especially in Westminster, are ballbags. Especially the government and the opposition. Like the Tories are still the main opposition. They're the second largest party in the House of Commons, but they're completely fucking irrelevant. They finished 5th in Holyrood. Now, if the vote didn't go, it went another way in Eastwood, which is a constituency to the east of Glasgow. It's basically, oh god, Renfrewshire, essentially. Now, if the Tory candidate there actually won the election, that means they get one less person on the list, which means that his boss, Russell Finlay, wouldn't have been voted back in because of the way that the additional member system works. So that would have been the West of Scotland region. Okay, in the back of my mind when I was covering the Holyrood election, I was saying that I hate Jackson Carter. Fuck it, I don't like him. I don't. But I thought it'd be fucking hilarious if he actually won that constituency, meaning that Russell Finlay wouldn't get back into Holyrood. He didn't win, came second. He still got on the list. The SNP won that seat, by the way.
What it thinks you want to hear. And then she adds, the important point, which is that businesses who pay for her, I don't know who she does it for, but whoever employs her, who pays for that company or service, are now deciding they can save money by going to a chatbot. So if we just leave this to the free market, instead of having AI sort of augment human therapy, it will end up replacing it because of how cost.
AI is already replacing parts of the NHS, Michael. Palantir, anyone? Michael? Yeah, right, fair enough. People use ChatGPT, they speak to chatbots. I get that. I understand people do it. I don't like it. I want them to make genuine human connections, especially to get therapy. Hang on. A couple of burks? A couple of burks in the chat. Everyone, go and follow a couple of burks. They are fucking awesome. I'm assuming it's you, Lewis. Hello, friend. Hello, Conrad. A couple of burks really are quite good. They are. I've been on their show. Oh God, I'm still fucking muggy. Yeah. I actually asked my GP that last year at some point. Said, where are you on the idea of patients using like chatbots for like oh, it is you. Thank you. Hello. The necessity of flesh should be publicly guaranteed, not privately exploited. The only debate our politicians should be debating are what those necessities are. Yeah. There's other things that they can do to take their notes instead of using AI. Ideally, I'd want them to do their notes themselves. Well, there's programs they can use. They can transcribe it, they can speak, and it can get recorded. I think that's what my GP does. He says ideally we'd want to be funding the NHS properly, so everyone can, if anyone needs a therapist, they can get access to one. Well, I agree with my GP. He is fucking amazing. I'm not too bad. I speak to my sister and my mum, who was a nurse and a midwife, and also just I speak to her as my mum, well, obviously. I'm not too bad. The main issues I've got are all physical, autoimmune diseases, which kind of I get kind of brain fog and stuff, but that's I get distracted because of the pain and agony that I'm in, even though I've got fucking fentanyl patch. Yeah. I try to go premium wherever I can for things, especially social media. So I'm premium on YouTube. You can see it up there. So I pay that and I get both the standard YouTube and my YouTube music for one monthly price. And it's not that much. No, like Better Help and things like that. That actually happens quite a lot in the States, I believe. Citation needed, but I think I'm correct. I think. And the way they target their customers is despicable.
Work. Banseka, first of all, I don't know if you watched the whole question time.
I didn't. I was going to caveat that by saying I've only seen a few clips here and there.
That's fine, but from the clips I've shown you, are you on my team or are you on Twitter's team?
I find a lot of this desperately sad. The therapy stuff in particular, I found, really disheartening. I take your point about Mo, is it, who has a more critical angle on AI than some of the other people on the panel. Was it mentioned, by the way, when the person from the Tony Blair Institute, were they framed in any way as having links to AI or links to AI
I don't think they mentioned that.
And I
Tony
do
Blair
think that's
Institute was funded by Larry Ellison, which
that's
they
a
probably should have done.
significant omission, I think. I mean, I was looking at the numbers this week in light of the recent statement Tony Blair made about intervening with the Labour Party. They've had at least, 130 million?
Oh, yes, a hell of a lot of money.
Heck of a lot of money, I've got to say.
You can't really talk about the Tony Blair Institute without talking about that connection.
And I think that's part of some of the argument, I think, about people talking about manufacturing consent for a particular view on AI, right? That's not critical enough. I think that's really egregious, actually. I pay my license fee. I really don't like the fact that I'm contributing to a show, that doesn't provide that kind of background, just very clear and obvious.
The content of it, though, was very critical. They were all quite critical. Even the Tory politicians said, we failed on social media, we didn't regulate it properly, and now we've seen the consequences it has on kids, and we need to do better
But
this
there's a
time.
step before the introduction of smartphones and the proliferation of the online world, which is austerity as well.
I don't really buy it.
We disagree.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very much against austerity, but I think if you're looking at the complete transformation that happened from that period onwards, closing a few youth centres doesn't add up to it. Like if you think about how my life experience has changed since 2010.
They've literally hollowed out the social sphere, Michael. Austerity was really fucking damaging. And now they want to put in these sort of fixes. Won't work. We're already isolated, thanks capitalism. And introducing these sort of AI fixes that they want to do, especially the TBI. Not good in my opinion. Just not. Good for scraping data, I guess. You can use it to find shit out. I still kind of like them. I love their downstream. It depends who they get on though. So downstream, I check who it is and say, oh, that one might be interesting. I prefer Ash. I think she's amazing. Don't get me wrong, Aaron Bastani is quite good doing downstream as well. And Rivka's done a few over the years, like 3 or 4, I think. The Rivka ones are usually really good. Ash is my queen. She is awesome. Oh, Niall! Rejoice. Niall's in chat. Welcome. Look, we got Banseka earlier on Turn Left with Sarah Dalal. We love Banseka here. She is awesome.
And because also austerity really harmed sort of the most vulnerable people in society. Now that's what was so morally egregious about it. But what we're seeing now in terms of falling birth rates, in terms of higher anxiety, in terms of more loneliness, instead of not hanging out with people, not meeting partners, that isn't disproportionately affecting more vulnerable people. That is across the board. And how has everyone's life changed? So everyone's life has changed because we are looking at a screen 3 to 4 hours a day. So I think the austerity argument is too neat.
I think that's
people of a
part
certain
of it.
political persuasion.
It may not explain all of it, and I do think there is, of course, something inherently addictive built into these platforms that we are addicted to, like a drug of sorts. But I do think that, I was at a discussion actually this week with young people, because there's obviously conversations about should we ban social media for young people. Most of them were against it, vast majority of them, and that came up over and over again, where they said, look, we've got no.
We all do. A couple of Burks. We all do. She is fucking awesome. And when her and Kev were watching the actual AI QT, they were ripping into the BBC for doing the bit at the start. Let's see if I remember this correctly. So they done mock-ups of people who are actually dead. Ghoulish. Thanks BBC for using my license fee money for that one. I don't like yous now. Well, I didn't really like yous anyway. But thank you. So they had a mock-up of Churchill. Frida Kahlo. You leave our Conrad alone, BBC, you bastards. Gandhi. And Emmeline Pankhurst, the suffragette. How much did that cost you to do, by the way? Stop wasting license fee money. Thanks. Yeah, fucking ghoulish. I can't believe they chose Callum.
Where else to go? These weren't like necessarily the poorest kids. You know, these were kids from middle class backgrounds, but they just said, we haven't got the money to go anywhere. Our parents aren't going to, you know, fund this. Where will we go if we're banned from
Why used to
social
go
media?
sit in a field? Like do you know what I mean? It's like if you don't have a screen to look at, you know, I don't want to do back in my day, but it is like if you're in a social world where people aren't looking at a screen, stuff kind of does happen, right? You go sit in a field and get drunk. People have stopped drinking. That's probably a problem.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely economically linked, and that's not just young.
I'm pretty sure I'm drinking. Oh, tonight's beverage of choice, Thatcher's Gold, because it's delicious. They do not sponsor the stream. They give me an excuse to drink. Mind you, in saying that, I'm more ales than lagers than cider, but it's easier to drink cider in the house, oddly enough. You have to chill lager and Guinness. Bit of a faff. And we've got a little larder fridge, so it's not a full fridge freezer, it's a larder fridge. Four and a half feet tall. I've got a Discord. Right, you're in my YouTube. You're in my... give me a second. Where away? Hold on. Where's that? Boom. Link to the Numpty world, not Numpty Women server. Cause me Numpty. That's actually the oldest one I've ever. Well, I've had different iterations of YouTube with different Google accounts essentially. So going on the current paradigm, that Discord is the oldest thing that I've done. Fuck. No, like I made my Discord when I joined Discord and made my own when it was only like a year old or something. I can't remember when Discord started. I used it to join a gaming community. Hell Hades, by the way. I don't know if he's still going. I think he is. I watched him because I used to play Raid. I don't play it anymore. Got too financialised. Stop pushing your fucking packs on me. Just fuck off. I'm using this as chill, not as fucking an excuse to spend money. I was about to say I kind of miss Raid, but I don't.
That's the smartphone. That's not economic. People can afford to get pissed. Getting pissed is really cheap. Keep people like the white star, white
10-pack, £15. Like my smartphone, my motto 115. So it was 105 for the model itself, and you buy tenner credit with it. Like this current model is now coming up on 2 years old. I bought it in the summer. July. Yeah, I bought it just it'd be June. I bought it a couple of weeks before the general election. This one. It's still the same account I've had through the last 3. Getting drunk isn't cheap anymore, Michael. Trust me on that. Listen to this irreverent fucking alcoholic. Trust me, she knows. Plus, for a lot of things, you have to have a smartphone now. I don't know if they still do this. It used to be a sanctionable offence if you didn't have a smartphone when you were claiming UC. It probably still exists because the Department of Work and Pensions are bastards. Neither do I. It's weird, isn't it? I'll go back a few seconds. I'll go back 20 seconds.
People aren't looking at a screen. Stuff kind of does happen, right? You go sit in a field and get drunk. People have stopped drinking. That's probably a problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely economically linked. And that's not just younger
that's
people.
the smartphone. That's not economic. People can afford to get pissed. Getting pissed is really cheap.
We need them to function in this modern world, Michael. Even if you don't go on fucking social media, you still need it.
Cheap. Keep people like the white star, white claw cider. I can't remember what it's called now, thank God. But whatever that strong cider was that I drank when I was 16, 17. White Claw's different. It's called White Lightning.
Okay.
It's Jack to the rescue
I'm not
again.
a big drinker.
White Lightning. It's so cheap. Like I did not.
It was cheap for it's actually before they said if it was above a certain level you'd get charged more for buying it. It happened to like Frosty Jack, White Lightning, we'd pick things like that your strong white ciders. I think he calls it gut rot. I call it gut rot because it fucking is. Me and my husband, before we got married and stuff, we used to drink Frosty Jack. It literally is. Yeah, they stopped it. Yeah. And you had like K cider. It was in a black bottle and a big red K on it. That was in the same sort of category as it. So before they changed it, Frosty Jack and White Lightning were both 12.5%. And it was damaged just the lining in your stomach and your intestines and stuff. But I try not to drink that stuff. But yeah, White Lightning got discontinued. Do we get White Claw over here?
Need much money to get drunk in a field as a teenager.
Drink somewhere with a bit of ambience or something.
Well, you're not allowed to anyway if you're under 18. And
I'm just meaning in general.
Yeah, I mean,
because drinking is falling across the board. There was some FT data on this. It's not.
While it was getting made, a truck full of apples just sped past it. That's as close to fucking apples as a bloody will go. I'm more progressive than him, and I've got a decade on Michael. I don't want to think how old Banseka is. She's younger than Michael, I believe. If she's close to 20 years younger than me, I'm going to cry. Oh, by the way, your lass is 47. Yeah. I'm not looking too bad for it, though, I believe. Or for all of you to decide if I actually look my age or not. I should be on instead of Michael. But me no journalist, me commentator. Helena calls herself a commentator as well.
Yeah, but I think that's got a lot more to do with Instagram and all of that than sort of people can't afford to go to pubs. I just don't think it does the explanatory.
Because of austerity. I still get to pubs every now and again. I was in a pub on Tuesday last week. It was brilliant. We went to Pollock Country Park to see the Healing Coos. I have pictures on the Discord. Feel free to comment on them. That day fucking ruined me. My legs are still suffering from it a week later. I walked about 3.5 miles. Oh! Fucking hell. Do you remember it? I vividly remember like White Lightning and Frosty Jack and stuff. And the hangovers on that shit were fucking brutal. And that was just drinking. They used to come in 3-litre bottles, by the way. And we used to get 2 each. Thank you, Jacqueline. Always a pleasure. You look after yourself. Stay hydrated, not necessarily with cider. Self-care is good care. Take your meds. Stay based. Free Palestine. And don't use ChatGPT. I will catch you later, my dear. Work. God damn it.
Free work.
I think it's part of it.
Because rich kids who definitely can afford to go to pubs are also anxious and not and lonely.
And sober?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The other thing
Rich kids means they have rich parents. I get it. The isolation problem within capitalism, really bad. We're all getting put into little boxes, essentially, if you wish. Or kept in a mind prison, if you want. Or a mind palace. Rules to live by, indeed. Thank you. But yeah. More social connection. Austerity fucked us over. Fucked this country right up. Thanks, Tories, you fucking demons. I'm glad your party's dying. You deserve nothing less. But yeah, and Labour's not... They said change. Yeah, you changed the party. You're fucking Tories now. I'm surprised you became the official opposition up here. I was worried it was going to be reform. I wanted it to be my party. I am a member of the Scottish Green Party, by the way. They are awesome. I love them. They got more MSPs. Yes. Get in there. I've got my comrade in there, Iris Dwayne, and we've got Hugh Manavaran from the region over in Edinburgh. I can't remember what it's called. East Lothian in Edinburgh, I think. Fuck. Right, yes, so we've got Dr. Q. Woohoo. So I'm so glad. And with Holly Bruce, she got a constituency. Fantastic. But yet the two main parties, yet no dog shit. Yeah. And what's waiting in the wings is going to be terrifying. And at that point, I keep on saying, if Manfrog gets into number 10, I'm going straight to B&Q, which is up in that direction, buying a shovel and digging the trench myself. You can come up here. I can help you. I don't want that as Prime Minister. Christ knows what sort of ghouls and fucking idiots he'll put in his cabinet. I was thinking for a long time, since he left his independent and he started his own party, that if they ever go back in if they ever get into government, he'd invite Rupert back. But I think that bridge is burnt now. Rupert Lowe, you're a fucking mentalist. Oh. Yeah. Hang on, who said that? Ah, wrong. This one. Oh, David. What I can see happening is keeping an eye on Makerfield. If he wins in Makerfield and gets back into the House of Commons and boots out Keir. Super Hubby said to me earlier on, if that happens and he challenges Keir Starmer and becomes leader and Prime Minister, Super Hubby thinks he will call a general election next year. So he'll give himself a year to fix things. I don't trust him. I kept on saying he's a Blairite bastard. Please remember this. And a lot of people were hopeful. Oh, he's done good things while he's been mayor of Greater Manchester. Fair enough. But he's a Blairite at the end of the day. I don't trust the man. Because those that you can imitate the so this real understanding only an algorithm following patterns sometimes you can. Yeah. Do you not, Niall? Yeah. He wants them to win, but only for the reason he said he's going to be slightly different from Keir Starmer, which means we'll have a better chance of just saying, fuck the lot of yous, we're getting our country back now, thanks, see yous later. I can see where Super Hubby's coming from, I get it. Will it happen? Maybe. Yeah, a bot can't do that. I can't.
I wanted to say as well about the whole thing about therapy and people finding it easier to talk to ChatGPT, and I can totally see why. I do worry about this promise that comes with AI, which comes with other aspects of technological innovation as well, and is sort of key to capitalism, which is a kind of frictionless society, a kind of, well, this is the easiest thing for me, so this is best for me. But that doesn't always fit neatly with what's required. And I do think sometimes therapy can be really difficult. There's lots of different...
The easy way is not necessarily always the correct way to do things. Sometimes it is, don't get me wrong. Sometimes there is easy ways to get help, change things about yourself, be it actual physical or psychology-wise. But to actually get the real help, to actually help you with your mental health and stuff, I will say this till this is one of the hills I will fucking die on. You need to actually speak to another human, be it a family member or a psychiatrist. That's an MD, by the way. There's a difference. Like Kermit, neo-Marxist. He's a psychologist. He has a degree. Don't get me wrong, it's not an MD. A psychiatrist is an actual doctor. So if you see a psychiatrist or a psychologist, they're good. Don't worry, psychologists are good, except Jordan Peterson. Yeah. I'd want people to actually go and see a specialist about things. I've seen a psychiatrist. I've taken my own life. I've tried to take my own life before. I was in so much fucking agony. I didn't see a way out. I wasn't on a patch back then, by the way. That was ages ago. Don't worry. I got the help I needed. Don't get me wrong. My health issues still give me like mental health issues. Being in agony isn't good. I'd want people to go and actually see a therapist, either a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Yeah, it's so much more than just words, yeah. Oh, thank you. Agony sucks. The agony is actually not too bad just now. I get it flares up every now and again though. It's mostly high pain, like a couple of steps down from agony. It's not fun. I'm coping though, don't worry. I've always got a sunny disposition. Yeah.
Types of therapy, by the way, as well. Obviously, some of it is just talking and counselling, but you've also got CBT, and CBT is really challenging and difficult. And I do worry that people want to go for something that feels easy, and I understand why, but that might not necessarily be the best long-term solution for you. So I do worry about what we're sold here. Like, this frictionless experience. It's easy. You can pick it up anytime, and there are ways to integrate that in where I understand it. Of course, it's very attractive to pick up an AI bot and be able to chat anytime about your thoughts. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you've got thoughts racing around your head, but there's something about the human touch. And I think there's something about that human connection that provides a kind of necessary friction. It's like these two kind of rough stones rubbed together to create a smoother gem. And I do worry about some of these conversations with AI. I was really disheartened to hear that lady's comment. I hope she's all right, obviously, and I'm happy she's got some help. But it does worry me, some of those comments.
And also, I mean, you don't want to be presumptuous about anyone's experience or
Of
future.
Course.
But listening to that, I wasn't exactly confident that this was all going to go well in the long term. Like it did seem a bit like this isn't necessarily a sustainable solution.
No.
Anyway, I agree
It's
with
not a
everything you said.
sustainable
I agree. I'm
solution,
just as skeptical about AI as
Doesn't
you
seem
are.
like
I
it.
think. I suppose one thing the social media thing has made me more is like paternalistic. I feel like we do kind of need, as a society, to say that sometimes we need saving from ourselves. And that sort of social media is an example of that. And the thing that worries me about there's plenty of things that worry me about AI, but we're not going to talk about the existential risk again today. But is that social media, right, clearly has, I think, had a net negative effect on society if you sort of look at it all. And no one has been able to do anything about it. And it's sort of like if the moment we started recognizing those problems, the state said, okay, let's do something about this. This has gone too far. And then we sort of say, let's take a step back. Let's meet in real life more. Let's put some sort of time limit on this. Let's sort of make sure that scrolling short video, you get to some limit after you've watched 4. Like I'm into like the smoking ban and stuff. I think do all of that with social media. But the state has been so unable to do that if AI goes horribly.
How would they do that, Michael? The only way they could do that is literally force the tech companies to do them on their systems. Or we can just make a plea to the actual people. Please don't use the technology too much. You will lose your Wi-Fi if you scroll too much. Yeah, that'll go well. That is a fucking vertical climb. That's literally trying to crawl up a smooth, straight surface that is fucking 100 feet tall. It's not possible, in my opinion. Making pleas to the tech industry? Who actually fund our political parties? Yeah, that's nah. The overweening effect that the Tony Blair Institute is having in this society, in this country, in the wider in the world. I think our motto should be an early access thing that's informing the oversubscribed is more urgent, being able to get seen sooner than yeah.
You're wrong. I'm not that confident they're going to be able to have the agency to do anything about it. Like, to go back to China again, obviously I love talking about China, but they have a thing where sort of like they let technology grow, and then if they don't like the consequence, boom. Like they did that with private tuition and sort of education tech. Put lots of people out of business, by the way, because overnight Xi Jinping just said, decision, we're banning private tuition. And that's because he thought that individually, every parent wanted to get it for their kid. But as a society as a whole, this was causing an arms race, which meant that kids were just constantly in tuition. Parents were wasting all their money on private tutors. So there was a collective action problem. And he said, look, we're going to solve it. Banned. And I do kind of feel like I want the state to be able to do that with social media and with, not ban it, but sort of come in and say, you guys have got a problem. There's a collective action problem.
Again, Michael, how are they going to be able to do that? Making pleas to the tech industry won't fucking work. And it's a different society over there, by the way. Omaha! Hello, Omaha. The cat dancer. Rejoice. Based individual in the chat. Hello. Super happy does that as well. I just rant.
The equilibrium we found ourselves at is not working. Let's do something about it as a society. I think it could be really popular as well.
I mean, I don't know how China makes decisions like that. Is that a piece of consultative Leninism, I think it's called?
It's like a 7-person Politburo.
Right.
So, I mean, they'll presumably...
Because they like to say, oh, we do consult.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have, got some of their local party officials to, talk to people, but obviously it's not done democratically. It's that they'll do a bit of consultation, put some feelers out.
We don't have the
And
mechanisms
then the 7-person
for that.
Politburo does it. I think with a little bit of bravery, you maybe could. Right, because I think that people are really, if one thing you got from that question time audience is that people are really skeptical about this, really angry about this, and people want political leadership. So I think, people could step up.
We are in a kind of strange window of the Labour Party really kind of in a bit of a bizarre place. They want to make sure that they, keep a kind of stable government together. And
oh, my darling Manseca, I love you. It was self-inflicted. They deserve it. They knew what they were doing. So they can get wrecked. Speedrunning the death of a party is fun to watch, even though the country's in disarray and we're all fucking moaning and a lot of people are saying, why are we fucking voting for these bastards? A lot of people are getting attracted to fucking reform and restore. Just end me, please. We've still got the S&P up here, which is mostly a net positive. Mostly. We'll see how they're doing. The last is keeping an eye on them. Don't worry. But yeah. And then basically pushing this AI solution on us for different spheres of government control. Stephen Flanders there? I don't know what you're referencing there, Niall. I do apologise. I'm kind of boomerish. Kind of. Oh, you don't
there
need
is
to
kind of, in a
apologise for being
sense, this weird
dyslexic.
window where maybe
Don't do that.
they might be up for things. But I don't think I support the social media ban ultimately, but that perhaps there is...
What do you think should happen?
I mean,
because I know you think about this quite a lot. You know.
Certainly more regulation, absolutely. You know, the
Oh, watch this space. I will say this to my dad until he actually goes. John Swinney looks fucking knackered. He was a teacher before he became a politician, by the way. He taught at my school. But just watch this space. It is glorious. We have the rolled R's in the Parliament, and we have people who speak Doric. World's End, can you hear me, my lovely Doric comrade? That is what they speak. That is the dialect, the local accent, dialect up in Aberdeenshire, the northeast. The one Reform keep on banging on about. You have to do this. You have to save Aberdeen. It'll take fucking years. It'll cost billions. They're mature basins. Just leave them the fuck where they are. Don't need to be drilling in Jackdaw and Rosebank. So Jackdaw's the natural gas and Rosebank's oil. And they keep on saying we can have energy security if we drill for this. Wrong type of oil, Malcolm, you fucking idiot. The oil that we've got in the North Sea isn't used for energy production. It is used in certain key areas for energy production, don't get me wrong. But for main energy production for a country, wrong type of oil. Plus, unless we put it as a provision when we're selling the licenses, only sell to country, which will never fucking happen. It goes in the fucking open market anyway. Scottish Energy Grid now, motherfuckers. I'm fed up of fucking ranting about this. And I could actually see them using that, drilling for it, which will take fucking forever. Cost billions. And using that as an excuse. We've got our energy security now, we can use it to power AI or other technology to make things better. No, you can't, you fucking idiots. Stop fucking lying to us. Some of us are very intelligent, and we know what you're saying, or what you're not saying more accurately. You cannot pull the wool over this lass's eyes. You have been warned. And I'll be keeping a close eye on Reform and Holyrood as well, by the way. If any of them say anything idiotic, which is more than likely, oddly enough.
The rampage I think that social media firms have been able to sort of run in our lives has to be regulated. It has to be, there has to be a stop on it. I do disagree with you. Ultimately, I think it's in the state's interest to build alternatives outside of the online world. Yes, make the online world better, but let's also have more for people in real life as well.
I want to do that as well. I'm not going to say don't build more parks.
I know you're not pro austerity, obviously, but I do think that is an important part of the equation. And I do wonder, how much young people actually genuinely need real kind of socializing and coaching into that kind of a more in real life world. They're so used to screens. There's, even just being in a room full of young people this week, it feels like a novelty to see that. They don't have any experience of youth clubs and that type of stuff. It's a real novelty or a privilege now to be involved in that type of stuff. So those alternatives make real life good again.
Make real life good again. But I feel like to make real life good again, you have to solve the collective action problem of the smartphone, which is what is undermining real life in so many.
Don't get me wrong, certain types of people and personalities do use social media quite a lot. She says as she's streaming. Like, I'm on my laptop and my phone for hours a day. It's not all just the phone, Michael. Like I keep on saying, this country's been hollowed out by austerity. There is no third space. There is no social areas anymore. Pubs are closing down. We've lost community hubs and youth centres. Gideon, you are a monster. Your ideology has ruined this fucking country. Get wrecked. I have particular ire for Gideon Osborne and IDS. As far as I'm concerned, the pair of them tried to fucking end me, starving me to death. Haha, failed motherfuckers. I've never liked the Tories, never. Oddly enough, most Scots never liked them. We haven't voted for them for fucking decades for a reason. Now Reform thinks they can win parts of Scotland. Don't get me wrong, there's 15 other bastards in Holyrood now. Fuck. But the areas they actually got voted in on the list, they didn't get any constituencies, by the way. Bullet dodging that one. Thank fuck. There was 2 they were targeting and they were both up in the northeast. Oddly enough. Didn't work. Ah. So all their list, which is basically the regions. I've got 2 Reform Egypts as the list MSPs here in Glasgow, just what the fuck. So we basically changed from the Tories, who are 2 lists as well, Sandash Gilhane and Annie Wells. See you later. Goodbye. He's a doctor, by the way. I don't know what Annie Wells was before she was a politician. Fuck. Their constituency office was on Maryhill Road. I used to pass it when I was on the bus going down to Partick. I don't know what they're going to do with that space now. Maybe the Reform ones will take it over. So we basically got rid of the Tories and brought in other Tories. Right. And he managed to, he still got his list position, obviously, and that's because he was the top of the Labour list. So we've still got 3 Labour MSPs for Glasgow. Yeah.
Instances is what I think. We've got some information. White Lightning was a brand of English white cider produced from the early 1990s to 2009.
2009, so didn't survive the crash.
It's gone out of.
Oh my God! It was a consequence of Lehman Brothers.
Maybe people can't afford to get drunk anymore because they don't make white. Maybe we need bring back White Lightning.
How old are you then? 2009 it went out and you're talking about it.
No, that would have been my teenage drinking years because I would have turned 18 in. I was born in 1989, so I would have turned 18 in 2007.
Okay.
Something like that.
Oh my God, you turned an adult just as the world just went. Meow.
Yeah, no, I think I got a few good years in before it all went downhill.
I literally am 8 years older than them then. Right. Please don't drink those sort of white ciders, I beg of you. Just don't. It's not worth it. Get a cheap lager. Or buy Thatcher's Gold. It's quite tasty. I also drink inches sometimes, which is quite nice. And a cider, after my very own name, but it ends with Y, Katie cider is absolutely fucking delicious. So everyone go and drink Katie cider. Fucking hell, for Christ. Look at it. Didn't actually realise fucking hell, man. I am subscribed to a lot of channels. I might need to go and thin them out. Antidote time. Here we go. Oh! Okay, just play all. We can go on to Thompson next.
The BBC's flagship politics show Question Time has been met with disbelief after using artificial intelligence to create a mock panel featuring Winston Churchill and Mahatma Gandhi. The show was already facing questions about the lack of balance on the panel, which featured 3 pro-AI voices from the industry, a Labour minister known for promoting the use of AI, and the Tory shadow technology secretary. Green leader in England and Wales, Zach Polanski, suggested that tech billionaire Larry Ellison had been allowed to, quote, buy an entire Question Time episode. The AI-generated panel has raised further questions about...
Oh God. Because I'm off the health side, I'm not going on there. I will just get irrational and start yelling at all the Nazis on there. Threads in Blue Sky are filled with Starmerites. You're all disloyal people. Sir Keir's brilliant. No, he fucking isn't. Morally corrupt serial liar. So I am not on the hell side. I have other people to go into that fucking hellscape for me and just post it in the Discord. If anyone in chat wants to do that for me so I don't have to expose myself and get completely fucking rage fueled. I've rant enough already. I'm not adding more fucking anger into my life just to yell at fucking Nazis. I'm not going to do it. I've already got a couple of people doing it for me. No. I'm not going to expose myself anymore. Quick side tangent. I used Twitter as to DM a friend who lived over in New Jersey. She was a nurse in New York. She was born and brought up here in Glasgow, but she moved over there. She met her husband when they were both at university. He's an American. He's from New York, but they lived in cheaper. Okay. But they both worked in New York. And when it looked like, oh God, the Tangerine Menace is going to get back in, they said, right, fuck it, we're going home. And she asked, do you want to go home? Yes, let's get out of here. And take their 2 daughters with them. So I helped them. I looked for houses for them. I gave them suggestions. Then when it was actually super happy we found this house for them. And she said, I love this one. And she called up her mum and said, we found one. Where is it? It's in Townhead. In Dundas. Give me the address. And her mum and dad, who are both retired, put the deposit down on it. And I helped coordinate getting them back over. Yeah, I got them quotes for like container ships to literally ship over an entire household with things, the furniture and everything. Brought it all back. Then once she was settled, about a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, once she got settled in her new house, she called me over. We had a couple of glasses of wines and we ceremonially burnt Twitter off our phones because we didn't need it anymore. I asked her that, said how many fascioid were on the Twitter when you were using it. Not as much as there is now. So I've got my friend back. Fucking amazing. The last Holyrood elections their eldest, because of when they moved back here, they got her registered in time, and she voted in the Holyrood elections. I will not say her name. She is delightful. She's studying psychology and child development at Glasgow Uni. She's following in her father's footsteps. Her dad is a social worker and he helps families get settled. That's what he was doing in New York. Helping families who were escaping Afghanistan and helping them get settled in like Queens and I've forgotten. I'll say Hell's Kitchen. I know it's not that anymore. And other places, getting them settled. If any of the kids needed referrals or anything, he set that up, and he's basically doing the same over here. He's got a degree in child psychology, child social development and psychology. He's brilliant. He's really loving working for Glasgow City Council. And they love their house. They've only got a small mortgage. It will be paid off in the next couple of years. They got like a 10-year mortgage. Because they sold their house in New Jersey, paid up whatever necessary payment they had to make and transferred it over. They didn't get there was a transaction fee to send it over into a UK bank that she already had anyway because the summer here to see her parents. Brilliant. I actually asked her a couple of weeks ago what she thought of like AI and stuff. Said no, it's going to be bad. My lovely husband keeps on saying, "Didn't he fucking use it for therapy? Come to people like me." He would know. He's got a fucking degree in it.
How the BBC was presenting the technology and whether there was appropriate scrutiny of its drawbacks and reliance on copyrighted material. One of the question time panelists, for example, Victor Ripperbelli, I hope I pronounced that name correctly, runs an AI video generation company. Let's take a look at the clip that I previously said made me feel yucky.
Oh God, you're getting to see it. Fucking hell.
On tonight's panel, one of the most influential figures of the 20th century and the man who helped secure victory over Nazi Germany, our greatest wartime leader, Winston Churchill. Frida Kahlo is one of the most recognizable artists on the planet, famous for her many self-portraits. Her work explored gender, class, and race in Mexican society. Mahatma Gandhi led India to independence from the British, inspiring peaceful, resistant movements across the world. Emmeline Pankhurst was the head of the British suffragette movement. After staging hunger strikes and petitioning the king, she won women the right to vote. That would be something, wouldn't it, if they really were on our panel? Of course they're not. They are AI generated. Just a small insight into the use of technology. We thought we'd get started with that. But let's introduce our human panel with our politicians and AI experts who can guide us through this whole massive topic.
Yeah, that makes me feel sick to look at, to be honest. We were just discussing before we came onto the podcast the concept of the uncanny valley, which is when something is trying to look human, but there's something a little bit off about it.
Yeah, it's like, it's the closer, if you draw like the graph, the closer that something gets to looking human, the more you like it. So if you get a toaster and then you slap a face on the toaster, you're going to like it more than you did when it was just a previous toaster. And then you make the toaster look even more human by giving it like a more detailed face and more emotions, and you like it even more. But eventually you end up so close to this human toaster hybrid that you have a massive dip in how much people like it.
And you hate the toaster.
And then you're back to, once you're full human, people love them again. So that's what the uncanny valley is. It's that massive dip in between where it looks almost human.
Yeah.
But you're like, what is that human toaster doing in front of me? It makes me feel really weird.
Yeah, that's how I felt looking at that.
The Gandhi, especially.
The Gandhi one is
they
just...
They made him bow and stuff. It's like...
I don't like to... One of our colleagues was particularly upset at the way that Frida Kahlo was nodding along with Fiona Bruce introducing her. I don't like that at all. Yeah. I mean, but just beside it just kind of looking yucky and feeling like, wait, why is AI slop sort of getting onto the BBC's flagship politics show? There's kind of serious elements to this as well, aren't there? I wonder if you can speak a bit about that.
There's so much to say about it, not least like, what would that AI panel actually have to say to each other? Would Churchill, like everybody on like certain wings of UK politics, like Reform UK, treat Churchill as some kind of deity? I think if you actually had him on a panel with Emmeline Pankhurst and Mahatma Gandhi, you might hear an awful lot of sexism and racism that might change your mind about him being, whatever, the greatest wartime leader. What about the Duke of Marlborough? Never lost a battle. Anyway, there is so much to say about it. Yeah, not least the fact that the BBC is meant to be supporting creative industries. That's one of its raison d'etre. No, like it's meant to be creating drama that you want to see. It's meant to be creating comedy that makes people feel proud of their, like, where they're from and all of this stuff. It's meant to be supporting creative industries. What's this? This is fancy computer generated.
I will be back. Do not worry. 2 minutes, please, my Conrad. Feel free to notice how I walk because my legs are dubbed. I return. Hello.
Did pictures of historical figures. Why? I don't get it. It's undermining the very things it's meant to be doing. And then they're like, isn't that so fun? Isn't that so great? A video of Frida Kahlo. Here's Victor Rapabelli, who runs an AI generation video company. Oh, no, he didn't do that one. And have we thought through the fact that we're actively promoting if not directly the same business, very much the business area
Yeah,
of
I
our
was
panelists who's
seeing
here.
how similar this is to like Richard Walker as an example of someone who goes on to Question Time. He used to go on fairly
Richard
regularly.
Walker, the Tory, not the founder of the National.
He was the CEO of Iceland, I believe, Buffett
yeah.
Iceland. And imagine he went on the show and then they were also like promoting at the start of the episode, here's a bunch of things you can buy in supermarkets this week.
Yeah.
So it is, I can see where you're coming from with that.
I just think there's even more danger. One of the people they had on as kind of like the balancing voice, Mo Gordat, I think his name was. He's a former business director for Google X. Google X is like Google, but in secret. And it's like their research wing. You remember Dominic Cummings used to talk about moonshots all the time?
Yeah.
It's like the part of Google that are given huge amounts of funding to go for like moonshots. So he's very big on big technology, big ideas. And he was the voice of balance, I think, was how the BBC were presenting him. The Question Time was like, he's got a new film out examining the dangers of AI. It's called like Chasing Utopia, something like that. And it's like, well, okay, great. He's also on the record multiple times, including literally the other week, as saying that we should hand over world governance to AI. So this is a man who you're presenting as the kind of voice of reason on AI, and his stated position is that the world should be run by artificial intelligence, that we should get rid of evil world leaders. That's what he said. And have AI tell us all what to do, which again, another quote, he said,
rejoice, comrades. Linton. Oi, Linton. More rejoice. Rejoice, comrades. Andy Luke, based Irishman. Hi, Andy. Two great people in the chat. Welcome in, my comrades. This is the antidote to Michael Walker's video. So this is the National, the pro-independence newspaper and publication. I agree with what they are saying. Mm-hmm.
maybe our salvation. That isn't a normal discussion on AI. That's fanaticism.
That's so extreme.
Yeah.
This idea that AI is like infallible and that it's completely separate from us is absurd. Who do you think?
Linton. Are you away, Niall? Thank you for being here. Stay hydrated, not necessarily with Thatchers or cider. Self-care is good care. Take your meds if you need to take any. Stay based. Free Palestine, and don't watch Mo Goddat's channel. Oh. I will catch you later, Niall. Business gets pinned. Thank you, Linton, for that.
Who trained it? Who do you think it gets its ideas from? From people who are flawed, who make mistakes. This is why when you see these experiments of when you leave a bunch of AI bots together and see what they come up with, it's always inevitably stomach-churningly awful because they make each other do worse and worse things. They lead each other to worse and worse conclusions. But ultimately, their ideas come from us. We have programmed them with the same biases.
Yes, who programmed them? Humans. We did. Not me. But humans in general. People programmed us. And we are fucking flawed. That is very fucking evident if you take a look around. our inherent biases get programmed into this thing. Correct, Linton. Yes. They want fully autonomous? No thanks, don't want Skynet, fuck off.
And the same problems that we have. Like this suggestion that, oh, just leave it to AI, like that's impartial. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Sorry, I get quite wound up.
I mean, who would even program the world running AI?
Yeah.
Who would even program that? Someone's going to have some power.
Someone with
It's just going to be
biases.
some tech billionaire that works for Google. And then we're going to put him on question time and be like, what do you think about the way that AI is running the world for us? He's be like, yeah, I love the labor camps. It's definitely the most efficient way of doing things.
Yes, Andy. Yes. Yes. Everyone, go and follow Andrew Luke. It's Andrew Luke, the actual channel, isn't it? Everyone go and follow Andrew Luke on the YouTubes. He does Screen Cleaner. He does Sunday Comics. He does live streams with this fucking idiot. Andy's got a really good channel. Ah! New material imminent. Good to hear. Thank you. Feel free to post it in the Discord. They are the best. I love them, Andy. It's really quite good. Thank you. The amount of quality philosophy names in German based off a tweet that I had scraped from millions big on AI being used in the bombing of the school. Yeah. They have to say suspected. No. I will be blatant about it. Yes. That is correct. They bombed a school full of little girls. Well done! Yeah. The one that took out the girls' school in Iran. They suspected it of the AI being involved in the actual targeting of the area. No, I'm blatant about it. I'm saying yes to that one. Yeah. We're bad enough on our own. We make these targeting decisions as well. Then when you add this sort of chaos element with AI, that can literally get spoofed by people on the internet, just tweeting hypotheticals and stuff, and going off on that. Bad. Very bad.
Thank God the AI worked out the Labour Council once everyone lost their jobs. I just don't think the BBC have thought this through at all. And I mean, they're now being run by a former Google exec. So, like, I think we have to ask questions like, why is the BBC that's just been taken over by a Google exec, inviting a Google exec that wants the world to be run by AI on, and then just promoting AI by literally being like, isn't this great? Ha ha ha. And it's like, yeah, Toy Story was great in the 90s. Like, you could have done it then. You could have literally been like, here's our question time panel. It's Woody. It's Buzz Lightyear. It's Ham. I always liked Ham, Slotted Pig.
I like Slinky.
Yes, get Slinky
my
on the
favorite.
fourth panelist. There's no gender balance there. They're all men. But do you see what I mean? It's got as much value. It really does have as much value. And then people will be like, why are you promoting Pixar? And go, oh, no, it wasn't Pixar that did that. Oh, that's okay then. That's okay then. You're not promoting Pixar or whatever it might be. It's just... So I really think it's short-sighted and there was no balance. I think we've seen a fair number of people from like creative industries saying, why was there no representative of the creative industry? So there are massive lawsuits against OpenAI, against Meta for reading people's books and using them to train their AI models without permission and without paying. I saw
I like that, Fiona Dragon face. Apparently Scottish. She was born in Singapore, by the way. But she was brought up in Moray. Ostensibly Scottish. Just saw something out the corner of my eye, that was weird. But yeah. One lifetime is enough. Bring back Dimbleby? I quite liked him hosting Question Time. It depends who was on the panel, of course. Yeah. And most of the time, the panels have been fucking dog shit. You know, like Thursday's one, dear God, oh fuck. It's going to be in Makerfield, everyone, fair warning, okay? Your last will be covering it. Yeah. We will see who's going to be on it. They usually publish it Wednesday online, then Thursday afternoon, a few hours before they go live, essentially. See who's on it. If Burnham's on the panel, he'll just destroy everyone else. I don't like the man, I don't trust him, but he will be able to destroy anyone else there, I believe.
Well, I think it was Sam Altman, the OpenAI CEO, say at one point a year or two ago, like, well, if we had to pay for all of that, we wouldn't be profitable.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, okay.
That's a problem.
That sounds like that sounds like you should probably address that in your business model.
Yeah.
Rather than have your business model be
theft.
Yeah. Torrenting. We really like torrenting. Yes, it's just ridiculous.
It's large scale theft. And I understand why lots of people online were pretty angry about this particular Question Time incident, because I don't believe that issue of it stealing from the creative industries was particularly addressed.
It doesn't seem to be.
No.
It doesn't seem to be at all.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, or Mounty B, as we refer to him playfully on this channel, is in a right royal mess. As of...
What? Thank you. Sorry, okay, I'll come on to you in a second. Oh, it took multiple years to get her convinced. Better late than never. How are you doing? It's been a while since I've seen you. I hope you're good. Hope everything's going well for you. And not getting cooked alive. This is the same person that was arguing last year. I'm not too bad, actually. My leg's a bit fucked. I went to Pollock Country Park last Tuesday to go and see the Healing Coos. Pictures in the Discord if you want to look. And my legs are still kind of fucked. Fun. And so's my right... Well, fuck it, my right knee's always gobbled anyway, fuck it. Yeah, other than that, it's very muggy. You'll keep on seeing me use my fan. Water bottle part. We've had a couple of mini thunderstorms, and I hope they might have cleared all the mugginess out there. No. So we need one big fuck off thunderstorm that usually scares me. I don't like it. Sounds horrible and it's torrential fucking rain. But that will clear everything. It will clear all the mugginess. So I'm not sweating as much. Ugh. In fact, you know what? Impulse. Rose and coconut. It smells delightful. I love Impulse. It's rather easy to use. I will get back to you in a minute. Playlists. This is the cleanse one, by the way. Ah.
What?
Well done on reaching, happy birthday for reaching the big 2-1. My 21st birthday was fucking awesome. I was in a pub up in Perth. That doesn't exist anymore, there's now houses there. It was called the Plough Inn. I miss that pub. I worked behind the bar for a couple of months. They needed some help. Hang on, I'll work this out actually. I started there and I moved down. I worked there for 6 months just after New Year. The Plough was really good. I liked the Plough Inn. It was my uncle's local. He was literally walking distance away from that pub.
As of the last 24 hours. Even worse than yesterday. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, or Mountie B, as we refer to him playfully on this channel, is in a right royal mess. As of the last 24 hours. Even worse than yesterday. Let's talk about it.
Prince Andrew's a Knott's Burger.
So first up and foremost, if you are not liked and subscribed and dropping me a comment and supporting the channel, please, please, please do consider it. Secondly, there is a live show here tonight on the channel at 7:30. And thirdly, I lied, there is no thirdly. Let's just get into this Andrew business, shall we?
LBC understands that
My alcohol tolerance is quite good as long as I stay away from spirits. But I am currently drinking cider. And I'm doing quite well. So, yeah. I am a naughty little girl. I use alcohol as a painkiller. I don't think that's Nick Ferrari. He looks vaguely human, unlike Nick Ferrari. I have issues with Nick Ferrari. He's actually said some good things over his career on LBC. And I hate having to agree with him when he actually says decent things. What the fuck, you've changed your tune. Keep it light, whatever your favourite beverage is, be it cider, lager, Guinness, ale, wine, whatever. Try not to mix your drinks. I'm not sure who that is, actually.
detectives are investigating Andrew Mountbatten Windsor for possible sex offences.
This is it. Prince Andrew, the former Prince Andrew, is in serious trouble.
Like yesterday we were talking about how he was given a job that he was unqualified for because the Queen stepped in and suggested heavily that he should get it. And we found out that nobody else was even considered. And PR teams were constructed around him to brief him, to prep him in case he was asked, what makes you qualified for this? So we know all of that. Today it appears that things have deepened. Today it sounds like the police are appealing for witnesses and anyone who might know anything in regards to a woman who allegedly was trafficked, shipped into his royal residence for him to do things to. Physical things that miraculously would not involve sweat. Indeed, Sky News this morning reporting Andrew Mountbatten Windsor investigated over potential sex crimes. Representatives of the force are keen to stress that although they were investigating previously for like an email for like disclosing financial information, privileged information to Epstein's lot, which is a crime, you're not supposed to do that. They're like, don't get it twisted.
Is anyone surprised? I'm not. Oh, he was Mummy's little dear, Mummy's little precious. He was the favourite, by the way. Not the heir, but apparently he was Lizzie's favourite little golden child. See again, the usual refrain: Lizzie in a box, Lizzie's in a box, in a box, Lizzie's in a box. I'm surprised. About fucking time. And all us Republicans are saying maybe this is it. As a proud Republican myself, this really should be the coffin nail for the royal family, this constitutional monarchy we live in. We should be a republic, for fuck's sake. It's the 21st century. This really should be the end of the royal family. It really fucking should be. We all know how the police treat sex crimes, especially with their own class men. Ooh. Put links in chat, Andy. Bring it. I was going to actually look for that next to cover it. Good old Lord Yum Yum giving me content. So if you've got any links for me, just post them in the chat. I go. Yeah. I've got this. I've got the same apprehensions, Linton. ACAB. Yeah. 1312 in the chat if you wish.
Are also investigating sex crimes. And we have an allegation, so if anybody knows anything...
A woman has claimed convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein sent her to Andrew's premises at the Royal Lodge in Windsor in 2010.
That's where this is at now. Now, here's my question. Why now? Like, you don't have to spool too far back to remember when the Metropolitan Police... Well, yeah, we're not... I know it sounds like something that we...
Stay hydrated, not necessarily with cider. Self-care is good care. Take your meds if you need to take any. Stay based. Free Palestine. And keep an eye out for news stories to post them in the Discord. You can post them in Burke's one as well. And obviously, they laugh at West Streeting being the most unpopular politician fucking ever. Which is delightful. He deserves no less. Political. Thank you, my comrade. I will get to that next. Thanks.
Would investigate because there's an allegation of sexual impropriety and trafficked children and a prince having sex in them in London, in our jurisdiction. I understand how you might think that's our responsibility, but we looked into it. Actually, there's nothing to see here. Like, obviously, all of that stuff came out around the time of the Newsnight interview, but then more recently, like, more allegations came up where somebody said, oh yeah, Prince Andrew, as he was then, as opposed to Mountie B, Prince Andrew asked us to investigate, to dig up dirt on Virginia Giuffre, to try to discredit her, and even to look into that, the Metropolitan Police.
That could be classed as intimidation, which is a crime. You can't pressure people like that. And hiring private investigators, you scumfuck. Fucking despicable. Yeah. Why is he not locked up yet, please? Thanks. At his brother's pleasure.
Police were like, yeah, again, can't stress this enough. We're not interested. And the relatives and friends of Virginia Giuffre, who's obviously no longer with us, they were like, this is really disappointing from the Metropolitan Police. What are you playing at? And this is after like the whole Woking Pizza Express alibi thing. In the Newsnight interview, where he was like, I couldn't possibly have been with Virginia Giuffre in that nightclub, sweating all over her, and then later having sex with her, assaulting her, a trafficked child in London. I couldn't possibly have been there because I was in Woking Pizza Express. And anyone with even a half investigative mind was like, well, could you show us the proof that you were in Woking that day? Some sort of security detail records, or whichever palace is responsible for managing your diary, have they got records to prove that you were in Woking that day? And it was just wall-to-wall silence. Like, the royals have never divulged or released or disclosed any information to back up that alibi. And the police's response then was like, well, you know, we've not seen anything to disprove what he...
Do your fucking jobs. And the caveat, ECAB, or 1312 if you wish. Sarah ever and the crowd down on the visual too. Yeah. I don't trust him at all. It needs destroyed. I will need to get him to explain it to me again. I might get him to actually write it down. He's got a good idea for how to reform it, my super hubby. I will get back to you. I'll ask him in the morning. You'll be up in like 3 or 4 hours. It's just a really... Yeah, apparently that's okay. Brilliant. Oh no, that's good fodder, Andy, don't worry. You can see me actually giggling as I'm reading it. Oh god, the infighting in the Labour Party, especially the PLP, is going to be fucking going on, and it'll be epic. Fly on the wall, please. I want to see what's happening, please. Thanks. I will say again, they're speedrunning the death of a fucking one of the oldest parties here in the UK. It's fucking crazy. But I will say they deserve nothing less. They are headed by a morally corrupt serial liar. So yeah, carry on your infighting. You done your little trot hunt and expelled all of us. You've shaken off us fleas. And now you've got no one else to turn on. So now you're infighting. So there's probably a major civil war happening in the Labour Party. Ah! You'll love to see it. A cabinet of fucking ghouls.
Says he was doing. Like, he says he was in Woking. We've not seen anything to disprove that. And all of us thought, well, hang on a second, like, why is it on us to disprove what's happened? She's alleged that he's done this to her in London, in your jurisdiction. Isn't it on you to go away and investigate? Like, you've been accused of something, you say you got this alibi, what can you give us that backs up that alibi? Instead, they've done it, like, reverse. Anyway, even after all of that, you had ample opportunities. And yet now, finally, years down the line, almost a decade since this stuff first started bubbling up, finally now, we're starting to see the possibility of charges against Mountie B for this sort of stuff. Like, why now? And one of the theories that I came up with was that the Epstein files is now reaching such levels of frenzy and fever pitch that they need a scapegoat. They know this isn't going away. They know that a certain chunk of MAGA advocates and acolytes will just not let this go. So they need somebody to hang out to dry. They need a witch burning, don't they? And Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has already been dragged through the mud for this. It's not like there's an expose coming about him. We already know about him and what he's been up to. So by hanging him out to dry and making him public enemy number one, by making him the face of that whole thing, maybe, I guess this is a theory, right?
Holy fuck, he looks like a ghoul. Look at him. He's like a ghost. He's as pale as me, fucking hell. I'm not saying something. Just look at it. That expression, what the I don't. I'd love to know what's going through his mind when he was sitting in that car. Look at him. Oh god, yeah, they definitely remember. Oh, Vendiel's playing a game. Have fun, Vendiel. Look at it. Fucking hell.
Maybe that's enough to get themselves off the hook so that then at some point in the not too distant future, the FBI, the Metropolitan Police, whichever money-hungry shill Donald Trump has appointed to be his latest DOJ, can stand up there and go like, yes, look, it was a disgusting time in the history of our country and, you know, secret intelligence operatives and stuff, but look, we actually solved it. Like, we're really sorry for all of the kids that got hurt, but we solved it because look, Andrew. So that's my theory, is they need a scapegoat, and it may as well be Andrew. They're hoping that that's enough to satisfy the public's appetite for
It's not enough to satisfy me. I'm still going to be talking out about it, by the way. I will not be happy until the entire Epstein class is behind bars. Oh, who have we got? Rejoice, comrades. Jim Speak in the chat. It was a couple of Burks that recommended this chat. I used to follow him. I don't know how I got unsubbed, actually. But I found him again because of Burks. Thank you, a couple of Burks. He is really quite good. This one's about Andy from Norfolk. Yes, rejoice. Jim Speaks here. Be on your best behaviour, everyone. Modern chat. I haven't actually been raided that much recently. They've given up. See what happens when you actually invade when you brigade a fucking mouthy Scottish woman on the internet. If you can't handle the heat, get out of the fucking kitchen. Very opinionated and very ranty. And very knowledgeable. Don't test me.
justice, for accountability. The questions that remain are, could it be? Would this satisfy that public appetite for accountability? I'm not sure that it will. I feel like they've hidden this for so long now with the Epstein files. There's still so much that hasn't been unredacted and released. There are so many obsessives out there that truly now, I believe, you could actually release all 50,000 or 100,000 remaining documents, whatever it is that they're continuing to hide. You could release all of it, and there would still be a whole chunk of MAGA out there going I'm not sure if this is all of it, though. And you'd be like, no, they've released all of it. No, that's just what they want you to think. What do you guys think? What do you guys think is going to happen next? Do we actually think that somebody is senior in the royal family, or formerly as senior in the royal family, could actually be looking at prison time? Tonight on the live show, I've actually identified what I think his next move should be if I was him. But that's it for this one. I'll catch up with you all at 7:30 tonight. If you can't be there then, it goes out to everybody on Spotify and Apple Podcasts 2 days later, unless you're a Patreon or a member of the channel. Anyway, that's it. Peace.
Morning here with Adrian Thompson, streaming on his own because no radio
So.
Oh. No. Yeah, I did pause it. Yeah, we've already done this one on stream. Okay, over to the Twitch to get that link. No. Got it. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, fucking hell. Agree, fuck it. Just do it. Rejoice, you'll be hearing lots of my voice here. What the latest Mandelson files reveal. Cool. Withering verdicts on Starmer's top team and the inner workings of security vetting system are included in the second batch of documents covering Peter Mandelson's, Prince of Darkness, or Lord Yum Yum if you wish, appointment as US Ambassador to Washington. Keir Starmer's embattled government, understatement, on Monday published a fresh tranche of files relating to Peter Mandelson's short-lived and controversial time as Britain's envoy to Washington. More than 1,000 pages of internal government documents and messages shed light on Labour's grandee security vetting for the diplomatic job, his interactions with and withering verdicts on Starmer's top team, and the run-up to the aftermath of his dismissal from his post. Mandelson was sacked as Britain's ambassador to the US in September last year, following revelations about his association with the late financier and sex offender and known paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. A police investigation into his conduct was launched, which led to his arrest. Be sure your sins will find you out. He has not been charged, and his lawyers have said he is cooperating with the investigation, and his overriding priority is to clear his name. Good luck with that one. Starmer has repeatedly expressed regret for appointing Mandelson. He got fired twice. He was fired twice. You know that. You should have just left. I can't remember her name. It was the one the Tories appointed. She was well liked. You didn't need to change her over. And you definitely didn't need to put the fucking Prince of Darkness in there. Starmer has repeatedly expressed regret for appointing Mandelson, saying the Labour veteran had created a litany of deceit. That's what he does. He's been doing it for fucking decades. Around his ties to Epstein, why he faced a huge number of questions about Mandelson's influence on the government and whether enough was done to probe his past before he was appointed. Do your due diligence, Labour. Fucking wankers. Political's team pored over the files. Here's what we've learned. Mandelson said there would be no regrets about picking him. Mandelson wrote to top minister David Lammy, just put him in jail. Yeah, just put him in. Oh, darling, rejoice, comrades, fellow Glaswegian and all-round based lady, orchestran in the chat. Hello, my dear. All part of McSweeney's grand design with Labour together. Correct, Linton. Correct. Mandelson wrote to top minister David Lammy and fucking genocide promoter, promising he would never regret appointing him to the top diplomatic post of US ambassador. I'm sure everyone extends their deepest sympathies to David Lammy. I'm sure we all do, Andy. I'm sure we all do. Cool. I will see you soon then over here on the Twitch. Rejoice, we have Jim Speak in the Twitch chat. I just wanted you to know that if you were ever minded to appoint me, I would make sure you never regret it. This was when David Lammy was Foreign Secretary, by the way. Mandelson said in a handwritten letter to the UK Foreign Secretary, I fear that navigating Britain's interests through the Trump administration will require superhuman skills and luck and a massive team effort, he modestly added. Citation needed. He challenged vetting demands to list foreign contacts. Oh, I love that DWIT. That might actually work. For that to be, for that to actually happen, we'd need to get sausage fingers to do it. Oh, emails from January 2025 show he queried the scope of the process, claiming he could not list every foreign national I have ever met. You're meant to do that, you absolute fucking bastard. In response, a junior member of UK Security Vetting UKSV team told Mandelson he should focus on current or recent contacts and personal friendships or personal business contacts. No, you're meant to research fucking all of it. You're meant to literally scrape every bit of data from his past, including while he was in fucking cabinet. God, this fucking government sucks. An unnamed Foreign Office official, so someone senior then because they don't want to be named, advised them to send over a list of names to keep UKSV happy and to reassure the vetting team that you have been comprehensive, even if it's all quite artificial. Oh, fuck. Ah. Fucking hell. Ugh. He took direct shots at Keir Starmer's cabinet once in post. I don't like to know your past associations, Auntie. I'm sure you're an upright moral citizen. Mandelson was deeply critical of key members of Keir Starmer's top team, including in text to Ministers Pat McFadden, Glaswegian Ghoul, an ally of Starmer. The file was shocking. I'm not surprised he was actually talking to that fucking bastard. The then US ambassador said Energy Secretary Ed Miliband couldn't resist yesterday. So personal and stupid. If he had played differently, it would have had a fraction of attention. The text appears to refer to a disagreement between Miliband and former Prime Minister Tony Blair over net zero policies in late April. Blair had that limiting fossil fuels was doomed to fail. Miliband was by no means the only cabinet member Mandelson critiqued. The former US ambassador attacked Rachel Reeves. Fucking hell. Rachel Reeves' vision. I felt when Rachel was here that she was on a growth mission, but without an argument about where the growth will come from or how. I think Miliband's the only one. Ah, right. Thank you, Andy. According to the messages, Mandelson feared Reeves was considering a huge bank levy to pay for winter fuel payments and ending the two-child cap. It would be tantamount to abandoning long-term growth for short-term PLP management, he warned. Gonna just fuck off, Mandelson, you bastard. Christ's sake, I need a drink. Oh, and swipes at Keith Stonger. In late July 2025, Mandelson told McFadden the Midden number 10 was beleaguered and bereft after a visit. I'm not surprised. After McFadden singled out certain individuals as the best we have. No, none of them are the best. Including yourself, McFadden, you fucking wank. Mandelson replied, I agree, but they don't work as a team. They are not led, and none of them really know what Keir thinks or wants. Oh, God! Just put the lot of them on a big barge and let them float in the Thames out to sea. Oh, my God. Oh, fucking hell. They're usually small sharks, by the way, but yes. They're not all warm water, by the way. There's many different types of shark. In fact, most of them don't think Keir knows what he wants. Christ, he's got a point. Meanwhile, some ministers confided their own doubts about the government with Mandelson. Added bonus, correct. McFadden, a Starmer supporter, yeah we know, remember regularly voiced his concerns about decisions taken by key number 10 officials and cabinet colleagues with Mandelson over WhatsApp. Whoops. Messages exchanged throughout 2025 show McFadden had doubts about the communication strategy and personal choices being pursued by number 10. Yeah, they haven't worked out well for them, have they? Particularly in the wake of a disastrous by-election defeat for Labour and amid a mutiny of backbench Labour MPs over the government's welfare reforms. I covered that on stream because, obviously, that is my wheelhouse. I am disabled. I'm still not using WhatsApp. At one point, Mandelson asked, how is number 10 now in your view? McFadden responded, not good. You brought it on yourselves, get wrecked. McFadden also privately complained about his colleagues. Fucking hell. The talking behind people's backs is fucking ridiculous. Ooh, Vendiel's playing Valheim. Enjoy, Vendiel. In a message he sent to Mandelson in spring 2025, it's no private now. In a message he sent to Mandelson in spring 2025, he said his meetings with Labour MPs are about who can we tax in order to pay benefits to others. I don't like the way that's phrased. I've got issues. Correct, my dear, correct. Referring to a cabinet away day in July, McFadden said of Starmer, people want him to succeed. Angela notably silent. keeping her powder dry. That's in apparent reference to the then Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner. Another minister, Torsten Bell, who used to work for a fucking think tank, also communicated doubts to Mandelson. In July 2025, the Pensions Minister told the ambassador that the big picture for the government is messy. You brought it on yourselves. Get wrecked. When Mandelson suggested to Bell he was not intensely involved in the trade deal being discussed with the US, Bell replied, "This was not massively reassuring. That's your job, you fucker." DBT was caught out of trade talks by number 10. And number 10 caught the Department for Business and Trade out of trade talks in the days leading up to the last year's UK-US trade deal amid concerns about leaks to the media. Why the fuck were they cut out of the talks? Oxymoron indeed, my dear. In a WhatsApp exchange with former number 10 comms Stephanie Driver, Mandelson complained about what he claimed was an unbelievably irresponsible briefing by DBT to journalists. Ow. Thanks, Andy, you're giving me an aneurysm. We are reaching a critical time on trade negotiation here, and it would be helpful if DBT could stop guiding papers, e.g. the Financial Times. Mandelson wrote, "We want the deal, when agreed to make its own impact, not conditioned by pre-briefing of..." Driver replied that she shared his frustrations and said both special advisors and officials had been warned about the risks and sensitivities involved with Cabinet Office launching a leak inquiry. You all briefed to the press. You're all backstabbing, conniving bastards. Keep an eye on it, Orchestra. I hope you're doing well, my dear. So moaning that one fucking cabinet department are briefing to the press and not actually highlighting that it happens within every fucking department? The leaks coming out of number 10 are fucking ridiculous. They're hilarious and showing exactly what's happening, a slice of what's happening, not all of it, obviously. But yet, the level of infighting in the Labour Party, I believe, is fucking mental. And I'll keep on saying they brought it on themselves. Get wrecked. Referring to a Gardening report published on 7th of May last year about a visit by senior trade negotiators to Washington, God, don't string out. Fight faction with faction, indeed, Jim. I'll start again. Referring to a Guardian report published on the 7th of May last year about a visit by senior British trade negotiators to Washington, Driver agreed with Mandelson that the story had likely originated from the Department for Business and Trade. We cut DBT out of conversations today. The risk was too high. Oh, 2 months later, in July, Mandelson complained to Driver about an article by Politico about a planned trip by then Trade Secretary Jonathan Reynolds to press Trump further on tariffs. "Hi, can you stop this stuff from DBT?" Mandelson wrote. "We're trying our best here, but this is totally counterproductive, designed purely for domestic audience. You're working at the behest of the British state, the people of this country. You're meant to be doing the best for us while being ambassador, you fucking dickhead." Amish butcher Johnny Reynolds. You're there for the betterment of British people. It's going to be a domestic fucking audience that watches most of this. It's going to affect what happens here. Ugh. If you need to go, darling, go. Excuse me. No obligation, my dear, obviously. I love having you here, but health first. Keep me posted, and if we can, I might, I'll say, I'll keep it private though. Mandelson offered the PM a meeting with Peter Why? Oh, fuck. For dizziness, I usually say eat something, get your blood sugar up, but stay hydrated. Try to keep yourself comfy. But at the end of the day, you probably are going to have to need a transfusion, darling. Mandelson emailed Starmer's Chief of Staff in July 2025, so that will be McSchemy. In July 2025, offering to set up a meeting between Keith Stonger and libertarian fucking madman Peter Thiel. Quite possibly, Andy, quite possibly. In an email to Morgan McSweeney and his deputy Jill Cuthbertson, he wrote, "I don't know where you have been approached already, but would the PM like to meet him?" Mandelson described Thiel as a celebrated techie. Does it get fucking hell, help me. The ex-ambassador's links to Palantir have come under significant scrutiny. Good. Given the firm was a client of his lobbying company Global Counsel. The ex-peer retained a stake in a now-defunct company while serving in Washington. In February 2025, Mandelson also suggested then Tech Secretary, Peter Kyle, use more positive language about AI. Fuck right off. Ahead of a speech at the Munich Security Conference. That's not one again. The cabinet minister said he would action the prompt, and 6 days later told the event that the UK will reject the doomsayers and the pessimists on AI. My brain hurts. Fuck. More drink is needed. Mandelson met policing agency that reviewed Epstein allegations against him. Fun. Mandelson met with the Director General of the National Crime Agency. Funny. Mandelson met with the Director General of the National Crime Agency, NCA, days before he was fired for his association with Jeffrey Epstein. Peter Kyle. Yeah. The files refer to a meeting on the 3rd of September where then US Ambassador met with the NCA and discussed changes in resource, as well as other redacted topics. He was sacked on the 11th of September. Earlier this year, the Financial Times reported that the NCA reviewed new allegations about Mandelson and Epstein in spring 2024. So this is while the Tories were still in government. Email disclosures for the the DOJ, relating to Epstein also suggest that the NCA had been assisting the FBI and the DOJ with their Epstein investigations since at least 2020. An NCA spokesman said, "We do not routinely confirm or deny the existence of investigations or comment on the exchange of information with international partners." That's just a blanket answer, essentially. They don't say what they're investigating for obvious reasons. Mandelson's representatives were contacted for comment. Mandelson had email exchange with nuclear defense. Oh, fucking hell. The latest tranche of files suggests Mandelson had an email conversation with the Ministry of Defence Chief of Nuclear Defence. So that's one of John Healy's underlings. Mandelson's access to top-level clearance had come under repeated scrutiny following his departure from the role, including whether he should have been granted developed vetting by security officials. This is quite long. The email, which is redacted in its entirety. No, he was fired. He was fired. Basically, jump or we'll fucking push you. But I'm saying, no, he's basically fired. He was fired. Twice. Oh god, I can see McTernan's name there. The email, which was redacted in its entirety, included the dates on which it was sent, came from Madeleine McTernan, who is responsible for Britain's continuous at-sea deterrent fleet of nuclear submarines. Basically, it's the Tridents that we have, the Vanguard class. In April 2025, Mandelson was invited by McTernan to visit Barrow-in-Furness, where Britain builds its nuclear submarines, to see our submarine building and thanked her for hosting the nuclear dinner. And Mandelson replied he was very keen to go on the visit. A separate document shows Mandelson arranged meetings with two of Britain's highest-ranking spooks before he was granted developed vetting. That is spies, everyone. The then ambassador designate saw The then ambassador designate saw meetings with C, the head of MI6. That's so MI5 does the espionage here in the UK. MI6 is out with. That's the one that Bond, essentially. People like Bond. Who was at the time Richard Moore, and Q, who was Gadget's chief, Blaise Maitreeley, went on to succeed Moore in the top job. A civil servant noted Mandelson was yet to receive his DB clearance, but that he was being given access to higher classification material on a case-by-case basis. He hadn't passed it yet. He shouldn't have been getting that information because of his status on the Privy Council. Fuck off, don't care. An archaic British body on which former top ministers are entitled to sit. So, first ministers are on the Privy Council. The four great offices of state: Prime Minister, Chancellor, Foreign and Home. So like Swirly, Reen, and Michelle O'Neill, who's the most senior in Stormont, and a few others. The Right Honourable First Minister, yeah. Fuck. This is doing my throat in. Fucking hell, how long is this? Oh Christ, don't. My throat's starting to go reading this, fuck. Okay, would everyone like me to continue? My throat is really fucking going here reading this. Yeah. Thanks for the link, Andy. I'll read it. There we go. Save it here. There we go. Saved it. It's on my taskbar. There we go. I will get back to it later. I'll actually read it later on and do a quick digest of it. I oppose harming your throat. Thanks, Jim. Yeah. Jump in. Not at the expense of your throat, thank you, my dear. It is delightful reading it because, all the dirty laundry's getting aired now. Ha ha ha. You brought it on yourselves, you bunch of fucking idiots. Give me moment. No, going the wrong way. No. Ah! Give me moment.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Just going to mute your stream and avoid some feedback. Oh, there's a free fart for you.
I'll just can everyone hear Andy?
Hello, internationalias.
I'll share the screen. Give me a moment. Come on. There we go. There.
So, would you like me to read this through or summarize?
Summarize. I thought you might want to see it.
So, this railed against the thick of its shenanigans. They wanted to give Donald Trump a big red box, like I guess like the one that they have in Parliament with President of the United States inscribed on it. That would mean most. Holly Robbins passed that along, and Mandelson said the email process of approving such a gift as like something out of the BBC political comedy, adding, I have gone tonto in this. Apparently there's a big email chain with them all sort of like coming up with various nonsense. He sent a WhatsApp message plugging his podcast to the leader of the House.
Delightful.
Exchanges that year show him texting multiple ministers to back his ultimately unsuccessful bid to be Chancellor of the University of Oxford.
He can't do both.
There was a big, this next section on Ollie Robbins is quite big. I don't know how much of it actually came out in Robbins' testimonies.
A little bit of it. I'll be nice and say about 20 to 25% of it came out when he was on the panel, when he was getting interviewed by the. So that's the one that Emily chairs, isn't it?
I didn't get around to checking that particular panel.
So that's the. I thought you were going to because I'm going to Chancellor of the Universe. Thanks, Jim Speak. Delightful.
I mean, the big story starting this is Mandelson was to do an interview with Harry Cole, who I believe is of the Sun. In September 2025. Robbins emailed Mandelson after read to say he recommended against an interview with Cole on continued media interest in your links to Jeffrey Epstein. As we discussed in detail in our afternoon call, these sort of exchanges between you and Mr. Epstein would raise broader questions of judgment and lead colleagues and others to fear that your credences in Mr. Epstein's story and supportive messaging reveal a lack of concern for Mr. Epstein's victims. And the following day, Mandelson messaged to Number 10 Comms chief about the Sun interview and referenced previously unreported emails casting a new light on the depth and extent of his association with Epstein unearthed by Bloomberg. I think he also has Bloomberg emails, but let's see, Mandelson said. Adding, at least you have words for me now for lobby. And yeah, the footer is that, as I said in chat earlier, Mandelson refused to hand over WhatsApp messages after being sacked. So the
naughty.
Government, the police have, he said he'd comply, hasn't complied with the Parliament. They seemingly, I don't think it says it in this report, but have no power. So, like this batch of 3 big releases of Mandelson documents are omitting a lot of the messages from Mandelson's side. It's my understanding that he's not, because he's not turned them over, they can't include them in this batch.
Fun.
So,
truly, we are led by the least among us. Yeah. Right, Jim.
So what?
Yeah. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Christ's sake. Can we get rid of this government, please? That'd be nice.
Yeah. I'm about ready for a violent anarchist uprising myself. I prefer not to do the violence, but hey, wouldn't we all?
I keep on saying on stream, no violence, please, comrades, no violence. Yeah. But obviously, at the end of the day, I can say that, but I'm not the masters of you all. I'm barely the master of myself on most days.
But yeah, there are routes. There are things like Parliament petitions, and where they have to say the words that we shove in their mouths, and civil disobedience, non-violent means. Yeah, there's ways to fuck with them that won't get us in trouble. Or
can do what John McDonnell does. Just write a letter. Sorry, John.
Hello, Omaha.
Yes, that's Omaha. Hello, Omaha. Oh, I'm up for civil disobedience as well, Orchestran. Yeah. I'm physically incapable though.
There's one I've been meaning to do for about a week, but I am just wall-to-wall projects. I mean, tomorrow I'm all day in the editing suite and most of Wednesday.
Send it my way. Send it my way.
I want, so this new ruling on trans people in bathrooms, which is utter, I don't know the words that aren't really violent, sweary imagery, but the law
They're
is
garbage.
declared.
They're garbage. That's the easiest one.
The flaw in their garbage rules that probably will get overturned, actually. I'm fairly optimistic on that. But I feel if there was a petition, say, calling for new bathrooms to build, because the legislation, this predatory legislation, says that there should be a third option for trans people. So we have male, female bathrooms, we have disabled bathrooms, and now these rightoids want trans bathrooms. Well, let's take them to task on this. Britain already has a public toilet shortage.
Yes, we do.
So let's petition Parliament to build a million new bathrooms within the next year. Let's see how badly they want this fascist ideology.
Yes. Bogs, not bathrooms. Very Scottish of you, Omaha. Yeah, just create segregation in society. That always works out well, doesn't it?
Yes, yes, Jim. Every new bathroom must be trans people only. Yeah, and do we divide it into could we have trans male and trans female bathrooms? That would be 4, 5, count disabled. And is it are the disabled bathrooms, are they trans disabled? Do we need to add a 5th classification or a 5th and 6th? And you've noticed as well, every time there's one of these popular we won't mention a petition that's right wing, but popular protest marches where men and women have no bathrooms and are forced to urinate, sometimes defecate in the streets. Those people must be looked after as well. So, let's get to writing that by the end of the week and sticking it up.
Yes.
I need 5 of you to back it.
I'll back it. Okay, dissolve Parliament and call a general election now. Total signatures 215,686. So it's breached the 100,000 mark that they need to debate it in the House of Commons. But they don't necessarily need to. We need something to actually force them to do this. To actually, if it reaches that minimum, if it reaches the 100,000 signatures, they have to do it. That means we need to get the Speaker to do his job.
If I can read the Parliament statement to that. Parliament are too busy shoving their heads up their own arses. We do not condescend to you little people. So therefore, a general election is out of the question any time in the next 4 or 8 or 12 years, possibly, if we can get away with it. That's the official statement, by the way. I'm not even looking at my screen. I've got it memorized.
Make all tribunals free of charge. Yes, you get charged the £2 or £3 for them, depending on what they are.
I'm probably a minute behind because I'm looking at your Twitch stream, but I think that one, make all court and tribunal transcripts available free of charge. is a really good one. I can see problems with like victims' data needing to be redacted.
Mako Court and
otherwise, yes.
Mako Court and tribunal transcripts are available for free. Currently, fees can reach thousands, creating a paywall for justice. That is fucked. All legal records should be public property. If they're done for public reasons, they have to be free. If they're doing it at the behest of the society, we have to have access to this. All legal records should be public property to help ensure transparency, allow for fair appeals, and support victims. Access to the law should not depend on wealth. Based. High transcription costs can create a prohibitive paywall for justice. Private companies can charge thousands for transcriptions, which can effectively bar small claims litigants from pursuing fair appeals or accessing their own trials. Full transcripts of the longest trials can cost 20 grand.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Access to the law mustn't be a luxury for the wealthy. We ask the government to end the private pay model and provide free digital access to all transcripts to help ensure transparency and equality. Fuck yes, I'm signing that.
Look, as a transcriber myself in the academic field, I make a pretty good wage for that. I make £25 an hour. But there's no reason transcription of a court case should be 20,000. Not even 1,000. I mean, if it was 1,000, you'd cover your costs with one sale. I guess they just know that the lawyers, many of them are most likely to want this stuff, have deep pockets. But you know who doesn't have deep pockets is most journalists and even the big newspapers. If they were so interested, just couldn't afford that level of access. I mean, they can barely pay their staff to cover court hearings.
Give me a moment. Email. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Everyone, just type in the Gov Petitions UK and you'll get straight to this page. There we go. That's my email. Boom. Verified. Thank you. There we go.
Oh, good on you. So I'm gonna get off now because big day tomorrow. Yeah. Good to be with you all, and take it easy.
Thank you, Andy. Much appreciated.
On Sunday, Katie and I are doing power, politics, and propaganda in superpowers in Marvel's comics and film worlds. So yeah, that should be fun.
Watch this space, everyone. You'll get to see your girl rant about the MCU for a little bit, and talk about how the propaganda works in relation to them. I have all the films that have been released on DVD. They're over there, right over there. There's a box on top of them, but I have all the films that have been released yet. There's still films we are waiting on, including Blade. They're taking their sweet time with that one. They shouldn't have hired fucking Wesley Snipes then, should they have? He's an old man. Thank you, Andy.
Good stuff. Good night, folks.
Good night, my dear. I'll catch you later. There we go. Thank you, my dear. Thanks, Andy. Love that. Rejoice we had Andy speaking for a while, which is good. Good night, my darling. You look after yourself and keep me updated. Stay hydrated, not necessarily with cider. Self-care is good care. Take your meds. I'll add an additional one for yourself. Make sure you get your transfusion. Stay based. Free Palestine and tell ChatGPT expletives. TOS. We don't need to do that one. We've already done it. Let's see. Let's just go back up to the home page. Okay. So much. There we go. Home. Did it? Oh dear God. It's on YouTube, isn't it? I might get round to it. Yeah, we'll watch the Channel 4 one.
£1 million worth of Whitehall effort, emails, WhatsApps, a catalogue of a short ambassadorial career, but also a chronicle of a premiership it probably hastened to its end. Amidst all the typed messages, one handwritten note from Peter Mandelson to the then Foreign Secretary David Lammy, weeks before his appointment to the US Embassy job. If you were minded to appoint me, I would make sure you never regret it.
I get that with my new monitor. Oh, I should have said to anyone who does not know, your lass has a new monitor. It is glorious. Look at how I look. I found an app to clear up the camera feed. So the camera's down here, just below the screen. And look at me, I look a lot better. He was the one that actually found the app for me. It is now on the, well, technically it's on my laptop, but it gets put on the screen. It is good, isn't it? Yeah, you can thank Storygirl for that one. Praise be Gemma, based Australian anarchist. She is awesome. Everyone go and follow Storygirl now, by demand of it. Yeah, she's good. Praise be Gemma. She's awesome. She's given me so much help. She literally went out, outright paid for it. It was crowdfunded on my throne. The laptop cooler, right here. She went and paid for it, all of it in one fell swoop. Thank you, Gemma. It is awesome. It is RGB. I can see the colours changing. It is very pleasing. And this monitor, holy fuck, I am so glad I got it. And it was a steal. I paid under $100 for it. It is awesome.
I regret appointing him. If I knew then what I know now, he would never have been anywhere near government.
Fired twice. You absolute waste of a Prime Minister. He'd been kicked out of cabinet twice before. You didn't need to bring him back. You can thank McSweeney for that one because he's a fucking acolyte of the Prince of Darkness.
Posing in Harmony in Happier Times in Washington, Peter Mandelson maintained private contact with many in Keir Starmer's government, the tone often a world away from his gushing public endorsements.
Keir, in everything we do, we're going to be right behind you and everything you're doing for Britain.
The chunkiest online correspondence with a cabinet minister that survived the delete button is with the current Welfare Secretary, Pat McFadden. As the results from last year's local elections came in, Peter Mandelson WhatsApped Pat McFadden, "Keir lacks verve," as does the cabinet as a whole. Pat McFadden messaged our man in Washington, his old colleague from the Blair years, "Every meeting I have is who can we tax in order to pay benefits to others? They're asking the wrong questions." By the summer, Keir Starmer and his team were starting to wonder where things had gone so wrong. Pat McFadden messaged Peter Mandelson, "I can't make head nor tail of Morgan McSweeney, then Chief of Staff. Latest note, 7 interlocking problems." Peter Mandelson replies, he, Morgan McSweeney, seemed to be saying to me last night that he has no faith in Keir's ability to change Number 10. Number 10 is beleaguered and bereft. None of them really know what Keir thinks or wants. In fact, most of them don't think Keir knows what he wants.
He is a leader of great integrity.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's also our proven leader of our country.
The government withheld Peter Mandelson's controversial vetting documents from publication. The man sacked by Keir Starmer as head of the Foreign Office said in April that protections were put in place to cope with security concerns.
We put in place the mitigations and clearance was granted.
The nearest thing to such mitigations in these documents is in a letter from the former head of Foreign Office Security. Private sector engagements are being managed by Human Resources Department and Legal Directorate. With regard to personal conduct, I understand Lord Mandelson has received a letter informing him of his responsibilities. Matters pertaining to his overseas...
Because the Fourth Estate... Blah, 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 blah. I exist. Even if everyone else gets disillusioned and say, "No, fuck off, we don't care anymore, just get the country fixed." No, 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 no. I will still matter, I will still care about this, I will keep an eye on it. Because this is one of the aspects of the way the British state works that is actually broken. It needs fucking fixed. And none of the major parties are going to fucking do what is needed. None of them. I will be keeping an eye on it though, don't you worry.
Contacts will certainly be reviewed.
It means so much to me to be His Majesty's ambassador in the United States. It's literally a dream come true.
You learn little from these messages planning the Prime Minister's trip to Washington last year. 3 asterisks show where material has been withheld. The government says redacted to protect national security or international relations.
There's then the matter of redactions. Acres and acres of white space. Constellation of asterisks. Perhaps all too appropriate for a Labour document, Mr. Speaker.
I can also confirm to the House that no government minister or special advisor has determined any of the redactions themselves. The redaction process has been overseen by Cabinet Office officials and, where relevant, in agreement with the ISC.
That a reference to...
I'd sever that link. Just because of this one alone, there's been plenty of other instances in the past with both Labour and fucking Tories and the Lib Dems. I'd sever that link. Just cut it. Let the security vetting do its job. Let it be at arm's length, but sever the ties between the fucking cabinet and the vetting process. Chances. Post your feelings in the chat. I think you can tell what I'm getting at. He is indeed, Jim. He is indeed. Yes.
Parliament's Intelligence and Security Committee, which signed off this publication but expressed concern about the deleted WhatsApps that got away. Peter Mandelson, it's believed on the advice of his lawyers, did not submit his WhatsApps for publication. He remains under police.
He was working at the behest of the British people, the British electorate. He has to give them over. I don't care what his fucking lawyer said. Give them to the vetting agency. Thank you. And if they didn't do that, they shouldn't have given fucking clearance. He shouldn't have been made the fucking ambassador. He shouldn't have been. But he shouldn't have been anyway. Fuck it. If he didn't hand them over, no, denied, not getting security clearance, fuck right off. Again, transfers. I will repeat again, I hate this fucking government. Yeah, if you fail the vetting, you can't get the job. Fuck off. Yeah. But they were so fucking desperate to get him over to Washington. They're paying the price now. Well deserved. You've brought this on your fucking self, Labour. Get wrecked.
Investigation for misconduct in public office. He denies wrongdoing.
Well, the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Labour MP Dame Emily Thornberry, joins us from Parliament's Central Lobby. Thanks very much for joining us this evening. What do you think these messages tell us?
So I'm focusing on what I've always focused on, which is how did this man get this job? I mean, given everything that we know, given what happened with the developed vetting, given that they said that he was a risk and that he shouldn't be appointed, how did he get the job? He went from being an outlier, someone who didn't look like there was much chance of getting a job. He didn't get on with Keir Starmer. I mean, obviously these papers make that clear. He was applying for another job. He was trying to be Chancellor of Oxford. He had all of these connections which were, this history, which were not good. And yet he ended up in this job where he would get access to top secret documents, an extremely sensitive job that needed to be, where he needed to have vetting, and somehow or other, everything was all right. Now, when we asked questions about that in the committee, we said, how was it that when vetting said that he was a man who should not be given this job, you nevertheless gave him the job? And they said, oh, no, it was because we introduced these things called mitigations. So I have spent the day looking for these mitigations and I can't find any of them. Any of these, oh, well, he'll be safe so long as he doesn't speak to any, I don't know, whatever.
These messages, as they have been revealed so...
Emily, check my notes. Yeah, she's still in Labour. Yeah. Her constituency borders on Jamman constituency. She's right next door to him. Do we see her losing her seat? Fuck it. Let us check. Oh, sorry. Oops, forgot the B. Fucking hell. She looks quite good for 65. Oh, I like that outfit she's wearing that fall. Islington South and Finsbury. Oh, 15,500. Not bad. She might be safe. Oh, she's from Guildford. Cedric and Sally. Sat there acting like the lesser evil, yeah. British politician who has been a member of has lived in Southern Finsbury since 2000. Christmas, she's been there since for 21 years. Member of the Labour Party, she served as Shadow Attorney General for England and Wales, separate legal systems. I'll say that every time. From 2021 to 24, and previously from 2011 to 2014, Thornbury has also served in a number of other senior positions on Labour's front bench. Shadow First Secretary of State, the basic Cabinet Secretary. Shadow Secretary of State for International Trade. That would be spotty. Stop it. Naughty. It sounds like a designer joke. It does actually, Jim. Daughter of a teacher and a diplomat. Fucking hell. Emily Thornbury was born in Guildford and attended local secondary school. Oh, she went to the state school after graduating from University of Kent in Canterbury. She worked as a human rights lawyer from 1985 to 2005 and joined the Transport and General Workers Union. One of the slightly better unions, I guess. Okay. The reason she is Dame Emily is because she married a lord.
Don't answer your critical questions. I wonder, do you share the Conservatives' concern about the messages that haven't been released?
So I don't think it's the messages. I think it is that if you're going to decide that somebody can be safe to be our ambassador in Washington, so long as certain things are put in place, where is the note of what it was? What did you tell him that he had to do or he wasn't allowed to do? Or is it, which I fear may be the case, that you just wanted to brush over all of these concerns because you were under such pressure from Number 10, and I don't think from Keir Starmer, frankly, but, from Number 10 to appoint him, and so you just brushed over it. I mean, if they can show me the mitigations, if they can show me that they took it seriously, then that's a different matter. But I've been through an awful lot of papers, and I can't find it. I asked today whether it was because the police had it, and I have not had a straight answer.
And what you do get, again, from these messages is sort of chatty, he's well connected still, he's passing comment on how the government is operating. This is a confident man at work, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been like that. He's always been like that. And you can see in the documents as well at the beginning that he's pushing this idea that, I'm a member of the House of Lords, I don't need to have any vetting at all. I'm quite sure that because I'm a Privy Councillor, I don't need to have anybody else look into my background. Well, they did. And when they did, they said he shouldn't get the job.
But there's still questions for the Prime Minister, though, aren't there?
Well, I think the main question for the Prime Minister really is, I appreciate that being Prime Minister makes you an extremely busy man, but is it not right that someone came to you, I presume Morgan McSweeney, and said, look, you're really busy, I'll take responsibility for this, let me do this, I'll do the ambassador, you go off and do the other things. And Keir Starmer gave him too much rope, gave him too much latitude, and didn't do enough supervision of what happened next. That, in my view, is the criticism of the Prime Minister.
Just very briefly.
How did this happen? How did this happen that we had someone who was so completely inappropriate ended up as our ambassador?
If you would, so far perhaps no smoking gun, but a sort of continued corrosive impact on Sir Keir Starmer himself, this criticism that he just wasn't on top of the job, he just couldn't do it. That doesn't help him right now, does it?
I mean, listen, it doesn't really matter what Peter Mandelson says. He has a history of making catty remarks. He makes catty remarks in WhatsApps. That's what he does. It's kind of his stock and trade.
Oh, catty remarks. Lord Conrad Black. Okay, I'm doing quite well. I can carry on. Catty remarks indeed. Almost as bad as fucking Archer. Fucking hell. For anyone that doesn't know, Jeffrey Archer was a piece of shit. I'll see if it's feasible for me to come down and visit you, Omaha, because I really want to meet you. We're not quite on that level yet. Thank God. I was really fucking angry with the Rwanda scheme. It wasted money, but it wasn't going to fucking work.
I don't think that really matters at the moment. I think what matters at the moment is why was it that he was given the job in the first place.
Dame Emily Thornberry, thanks very much for talking to us. Thank you.
Last can. Hmm. Huh. Hmm. Oh no, it's not that. I'm going to have to need to take a break anyway. Don't get me wrong, I might change my mind. I've still got money left. I'll send him out to get it. He's got my bank card in his wallet anyway. Oh no, I'm fine. I'll probably finish that and finish up the stream. And probably play my game. Would you like to be raided out now, or we can carry on? We can watch Owen talk about Cenk and Hassan getting banned. That might be fun. Oh no, there's still other drink. I'm trying not to touch it though. Don't have flasks behind me over there under the Marvel DVDs. I've got rum and vodka. I'm trying to leave them alone though. Oh, this might be fun. Hello, Cody. Ah, what the fucking bollocks.
From the Patriot J6er/Fund. Ooh, a judge just...
So you don't know why Trumpty Dumpty went to hospital for the 4th time during his 2nd term as President of the United States, but you don't want to look like a thicky dum-dum in front of all your mates. Here's a quick rundown before you get your hopes up. Trump's recent visit to the Walter Reed Military Medical Center follows weeks of people being like, what the fuck's wrong with your hands? To which, of course, Trump responded, what the hell are you talking about? What weird bruising? What is it with this guy and fucking mad skin tones? Other things that people have noticed that are wrong with Trump, apart from fucking everything, include a weird rash on his neck and the fact he can't fit his chonky feet into his shoes. Who the fuck tied those laces? But anyway, the doctor's note said everything was absolutely fine, especially his mind. We'll be the judge of that, because here are all the things that Trumpty Dumpty has done since getting the all clear from the doctor that's definitely paid to not say anything bad about him. Ordering the Washington Memorial Pool to be painted a bright American flag blue, very normal. The company in charge of carrying out the work, of course, have absolutely no experience maintaining national monuments and got the contract because they once waterproofed a pool at Donald Trump's Virginia golf course. Golf course they did! Anyway, they keep fucking up the shade of blue. Look, it's all different shades. Trump also threw a fit on Friday when a judge ordered that his name had to be taken off the John F. Kennedy Center because the center is named after John F. Kennedy, you freak. Definitely not bruised Donald then took to Truth Social to post an AI-generated picture of himself playing for the New York Knicks and dunking a hoop over the head of the governor of New York. Then he posted an AI-generated picture of himself riding a horse with George Washington while a Trump-branded race car fucked up the White House lawn. Then he posted an AI-generated picture of the Obama Presidential Library as a garbage can. Then he got shouty about all of the artists pulling out of America's 250th anniversary musical concert. But then he said it didn't matter because he was thinking about bringing the #1 attraction anywhere in the world, the man who gets much larger audiences than Elvis in his prime. Yes, he's talking about himself. He then said it wouldn't be a concert, it would be a rally that would be a wild and beautiful celebration of America. You might remember that the last time Donald promised a wild time at a rally, this happened.
Fight for Trump! Fight for Trump!
Speaking of which, Donald also ordered the Justice Department to create a $1.8 billion fund to compensate the people he claims are victims of the federal government's lawfare. And those victims are, in Trump's eyes, these people. But mainly this man. Himself. All of this before we even get into the fact that Donald Trump has spent the whole week saying he's come to an agreement with Iran to end the conflict, only for Iran to turn around and say, no, you haven't. Meanwhile, the people of Iran are suffering untold economic hardship and repression from a regime that Trump has strengthened tenfold. But of course, we all agree with the doctor's note that says Trump is, and I quote, fully fit to carry out his duties. So you don't know why Trumpty Dumpty went to hospital for the 4th time during his 2nd term as President of the United States. So you don't want to look like a thick...
When do I get my money? From where? I know you don't have a job. From the Patriot J6 or slush fund? Ooh, a judge just blocked that. And you've got to be pissed.
Judges who uphold the law need to be fired.
Like the one who said it can't be called the Trump Kennedy Center?
Why not?
Because the law says you can't just add your name to it.
Yep, hate that guy.
There's also a law that stops you being on a $250 bill.
I didn't become president because I follow laws.
Ain't that the truth?
Then I want to be on Mount Rushmore.
That would change Mount Rushmore conversations to 4 greats and 1 shitty one.
So what can I put my face on?
I think toilet paper would sell.
Well, this day can't get much worse.
Saw me banging the sofa.
Until I see this bozo.
Now, why'd you say that?
Everyone knows I think you suck. It's why I made you my VP.
I thought it was because I'd make a good president.
It was literally to make my job even safer.
What is it good for? Imagine having a tough time and this is your support group. And you can fuck off because you're only here to prove my point. We're checking DNA databases to find alien-human hybrids. Well, there's one right there. His name's Stephen Miller.
No fatties.
How does someone this drunk have any standards at all?
Only soldiers with little waists get tickets to the White House UFC fight.
You do have the priorities of a drunk man.
And Iran need to know we're ready for war if they don't do what we say.
Oh yeah, you look ready. And I have the president's official doctor's report. Oh yeah? And what does it say? It's basically a list of the most unbelievable shit you could imagine. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees who pulled out of his America 250 concert.
Oh, come on, who?
Everyone but Vanilla Ice.
Fuck it, I'll headline it myself.
Really?
I do a great rendition of Young Girl by Gary Puckett and the Union Gap.
Speaking of young girls, I had nothing to do with the Epstein files. It was all Todd Blanche. Breaking the law, breaking the law. Speaking of mishandling survivors, you're opening a criminal investigation into E. Jean Carroll? We are Trump's retribution army. He was found liable of sexually abusing her. But she lied about how she was paying for her lawyer, so it didn't happen. It very much did.
And this is why all federal workers should sign NDAs.
Oh, why? So you can rape in private? When do I get my money? From where? I know you don't have a job. From the Patriot J6 or slush fund? Ooh, a judge just blocked that. And you've got to be pissed.
Judges who uphold the law need to be fired.
Like the one who said it can't be called the Trump Kennedy Center?
Why not?
Because the law says you can't just add your name to it.
Yep, hate that guy.
There's also a law that stops you being on a $250 bill.
I didn't become president because I
What is it now?
Chicken is no longer a health food. They're GMO birds.
There's no such thing as a GMO chicken.
They're getting steroids.
Steroids have been banned in poultry for 70 years, maybe even longer.
They're getting antibiotics.
The use of subtherapeutic antibiotics is being gradually phased out in the United States.
Helping them to grow big, grow fast, and eat less food.
That's mostly the selective breeding. That's the entire point of selective breeding.
That's not what we want in our chicken.
That's exactly what we want in our chicken.
Thank you, Jim. Much appreciation. Stay hydrated. Not necessarily with cider. Self-care is good care. Take your meds if you need to take any. Stay based. Free Palestine, and watch out for QT on the Thursday night. I think it's going to be absolutely mental. Good night, Jim. Stay based, my beautiful human. I'll catch you later, Jim. We may be losing a mod, but I'm still here.
We want our chicken to grow relatively quickly, not need that much food, so that we have affordable protein available to everyone instead of feudal nobility.
We want a healthy bird.
Unhealthy chickens aren't allowed by law and regulation through the slaughter line. If they do get through the slaughter line, it usually has more to do with line speeds than it does GMOs, steroids, or other grumpkin snarks and scary things.
They're never once asking, is this a healthy chicken? They're asking, is this going to make me a lot of money?
Yeah, that's right.
A few things you want to look for when you're buying chicken.
Wings, legs, and titties.
Pasture raised. Buying pasture raised chickens means that they are literally living on pasture.
Not if that's a pasture-raised label in the grocery store. The grocery store pasture-raised label means that the chickens have quote-unquote access to 108 square feet per bird of pasture. Whether or not they're actually on that pasture, who the bloody hell knows?
Most of these birds are living in chicken houses and they never see the sun. They never breathe fresh air.
Again, that's also going to include the grocery store branch. You can't raise chickens the way I raise them or the way she even raised them and in the kind of quantities to get them into a grocery store without cheating.
Because if you've ever raised chickens, you know they absolutely freaking reek meat chicken specifically.
My chicken smells just fine.
That's why you want to make sure that you're buying.
You should make sure you're buying what you can actually afford, because malt bar chicken is a heck of a lot better than either starving or not having a good animal protein source at all.
A pasture-raised bird, it's extremely important.
It's really not that important, unless you're a foodie and you care a lot about the handling of your food and the fat quality. Yes, the children yearn for the mines.
The other thing you want to look for is air chilled.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to be very careful though when you see air chilled. Just because the chicken says air chilled does not mean it is a good chicken. A lot of these chickens are still GMO.
No, they're not.
They said air chilled and they said organic, so everyone was like, that's a good chicken brand. It's not a good chicken brand. Brand like Pasture Bird, they're raised very well. They're raised on pasture.
They're owned by Tyson.
They literally do like lives where you can literally go on Instagram and watch their birds like walk around the pasture. But they're not air chilled. But then you have a brand like Mary's that is air chilled, but their birds are not walking around the pasture. The absolute best thing you can do is buy from a local farmer. Local farmers are all raising their chickens literally exactly how we're raising our chickens.
No, they're not. Most of the Amish aren't.
Non-GMO, a lot of times they're feeding them organic food.
You don't know what your local farmer is doing. There is no standard. The standard is basically trust me, bro. They could be doing anything and often are. What is it now?
Chicken is no longer a health food. They're GMO birds.
There's no such thing as a GMO chicken.
There we go. I've been going for nearly fucking 4 fucking hours. Bloody hell. 31% frame drop. Oh, fucking hell. I am going to fuck off. Let's see who's going. Sorry, YouTube. I can't reach you out. Go where you wish. To bed. To another channel. Or to some music. Or watch a movie. I would assume that most people would be going to bed. Thank you, Omaha. Christina, Dub, Father. Jack's going. Dead to me. Bean. Lenny. Raptor's still going. Maple. Got a deer. exactly. Finishes. The verb the doodles. Boneless. Last bone. Ready. Ready sampled. Register. Let's go and say hi to Raptor. Stay hydrated. Self-care is good care. Take your meds if you need to take any. Stay based. Free Palestine. And keep an eye on your lass. I can't hear Raptor yet.
Equal rights. I have been married for
Old, he's unk age,
for about
no!
13 years. My husband and I have been together for 15 years. We're in a 100% monogamous